I just wanted to make sure that our episode number is straight because unlike
155, right?
unlike the more advanced podcast crew, we don't. Our crew is 2 people. It's us, so I can't be like,
just
what
us.
episode is this? Welcome everybody to the Kasson Avenue podcast, formerly known as the Kiona and Kasson Pod. We'll eventually drop that part, but it is what it is for now.
Yeah, I think for continuity for some.
Yeah.
Yo, I don't know how I feel about these. I feel like I can.
Listen, man.
You know what?
Try
I
'em
hear
out for a
myself like I got a cold. I don't like
Well, hey,
it.
if you don't like it, you don't like it.
I don't like it. I'm wearing no headphones today.
This is episode number 155 of the pod, and we are glad to have you back here. Obviously, we're not here last week, and we'll fill in the gaps there wherever Sam feels comfortable filling it in. Pause.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't mind talking about it.
Yeah, but we appreciate you all joining us today. If you are indeed joining us, if not, then you know what you can do. Sam broke his headphones, but they're as old
they're
as
old, man.
They're as old as him.
No, these are not him. So those are
these are the ones that Dave left.
Yeah, those I've had for years now. Probably like 10-year headphones now.
I stole this one from Frank.
No, I've had those for about 10 years now, and those are really good. Like, they lasted a long time, honestly. I wore them a lot. Like, I've been going to work, on the train, fucking traveling.
This is actually not the natural color.
Yeah, they're supposed to be red.
As you can see, they done been through it.
Yeah, but it looks like today they decided that they no longer want to hold the charge.
True.
And that's it. These
Shout
are
out to,
Dave's.
shout out to the viewership
they
and the
sound like I have a cold.
shout out to the whole viewership on YouTube and the listenership anywhere else you may be. I don't know if that's the correct word, but I heard other people say it, so I just adopted it. We are always, of course, happy to have you here, and I guess we can start where we can pick up where Young Hove left off.
I don't know.
Quoting
Yeah, I know. But what does that mean?
Well, we weren't here for a week and a half.
Yeah, I know.
So we're just gonna pick up from there. Is what I mean.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And you can give your story.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I'm gonna go. I just had some medical stuff last
checking
week.
up on things.
Yeah, and I had to prep the day before, which included me not being able to eat.
And he was gonna be really cranky,
Yeah.
You won't like me when I'm cranky.
I couldn't eat. I had the procedure on Monday. I had to eat. I couldn't eat all of Sunday. I had
and that's very vague because there's a lot of medical things that you can't eat for.
It's a liquid diet, right? Liquid diet. And they make you drink a drink. I mean, if you don't know,
it's not delicious.
Yeah. And regardless of whatever, it was just checking up on some shit medically. Wanting to be a little bit more
proactive on your health.
Yeah, proactive and health conscious.
Yeah, we getting older, especially you.
Yeah.
As you age, you got to do what you got to do.
I mean, I've been told that, like, obviously at my age it was a little young to get it done, but
I mean, listen, man, preventative health is there for a reason.
Yeah, I just was like,
as long as insurance don't cover that shit,
I wanted to go check it out. 100%.
As long as insurance gonna take care of it.
Yeah.
Might as well let them do it.
You've been put under, right?
Multiple times.
Yeah.
Pause wherever.
You got put under a couple times at the same. and like when you got your appendicitis, what happened? Oh, you had mono when you got appendicitis.
That was a time. That was a surprise. Well, here's the thing, right?
That's
like,
a story.
Like appendicitis just kind of hits you, right? Like I woke up in the morning at like 6, 7 a.m. It was on the weekend, luckily, and like I could.
Why? You didn't have anything to do back then. You were just in school, so it's not like you had to go to work.
That's true. So unluckily, it was the weekend. It could have been during school day. Anyway, I woke up.
But you were off for mad time anyway.
Well, I woke up and I was like, my stomach, and I could that shit hurt. I couldn't move. Like I was keeled over. Whatever it means to be keeled over without being killed over. I was that. It was hard. So to move and to go about living life.
We live in a world nowadays where everybody is homophobic, so you gotta say no homo.
And not even homophobic. It's just listen. The culture is to
is
pause.
no homo now canceled, and now it has to be paused.
If you ask Jim Jones, not in Harlem.
Oh yeah, I mean we're not in Harlem.
No, we're not. But he was like it has nothing to do with any of that. He's like, no homo just means like no homo.
It just means exactly what it means, Jim Jones.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the greatest explanation, but it was hilarious. I woke up, felt like something happened, like I got shot in the stomach or something like that.
While you were asleep?
Yeah, I don't know. Like somebody came and just stabbed me.
Shoot me?
Something wasn't working right. That's all I knew. So we went to the doctor or to the hospital, right? And even then, 2016, 2006. That's when I was 16, right? If I'm doing the math correctly. And even then, the hospital system was absolute ass, even in the suburbs. So I went there.
I mean, this is a long time ago.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
To say even then.
Yeah, well, that's why I say that.
Okay, wait. Before we go further, you've watched Grey's Anatomy?
I've watched it on occasion, yes.
Do you know like about when people passed and how they'd had?
I stopped watching it after Katherine Heigl left because I was like,
But you know before then?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll talk about that. But go ahead.
All right. So went to the hospital and it was like they did a blood test, whatever, hooked me up to an IV because they were like, I don't know what the problem is, but usually IV does. I don't know why they always resort to the IV. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical professional.
Well, I think because doesn't that help you become hydrated?
I wasn't low on fluids
How do you know?
because the illness that I had nothing to do with it.
All right, well.
But anyway, so it took them, give or take, about 9 hours to finally get me into surgery, right? Now, mind you, your appendix can burst and then you can die. So I was like, clearly they weren't very concerned about that. In the middle of that, they took some other tests, and then they have come to the conclusion that I had mono as well. And I said, well, damn, I don't know how the fuck that happened. You know what I mean?
Dude, you have appendicitis and you're like, you got this weird kissing disease.
And
How do you get mono?
it's through
Don't
the...
you gotta lick somebody else?
Nah, it's like through the
tonsils
swap
and
of
shit?
saliva of some sort. I don't know. I was,
Did you drink
as much
from
as I would
somebody?
like to lie and tout that shit, I wasn't tonguing down bitches at the time.
So you were drinking from somebody else's drink that had mono.
Or something.
That motherfucker spread mono.
Son of a bitch.
How many people?
He could have started a pandemic.
How many people you think you gave mono to?
Well, I mean, I wasn't like habitually sharing drinks with people. You know,
I mean, but it seems like you were.
he was. I wasn't.
You must have
Pass the
literally
Dutchie, my
drank out of a can that somebody else was drinking, and then just like licked the whole like.
Could you get it from passing the Dutchie to the left hand side?
You weren't doing that.
I might have.
No, I don't. Not about this time.
I mean, listen, I was occasionally with a group of people who.
Yeah, but I don't think it was then because. Did they
Nah, it
come?
could have been. I don't know.
It's because does mono can mono just be spread and not?
Can you just be a carrier?
Yeah, like 'cause how many of these people didn't have mono?
Yo, I don't know.
Or did they have mono and not know?
After I knew that I had it,
feel like
it's basically just like I think
it's called mono. It's mononucleosis,
if I'm not
right? That's
yeah,
what
yeah,
it
I
is?
think that's what it is. And I have like
I don't know,
one
no.
nucleus. I don't know what that means. All I know is I think it had something to do
It's
with like
nuclear?
your spleen could have like an issue, if I'm not mistaken. The spleen.
Did you feel any different?
I felt zero different because I was too busy worried about like whatever was happening in my stomach at the time.
How long? So you got appendicitis. They removed your appendix.
9 hours later, yes.
How did it feel going under, knowing that was going to be the thing they were taking care of?
I don't think I thought much of it, to be honest with you. Like
just get it out of me.
It had not been the first time that I was under. You know, when I was a few years prior to that, younger. Didn't really. I don't know. I came back from it, so I was like, whatever. If I'm not mistaken, this is a particular time. Nah, it can't be because Checkers wasn't around still at that point. Like they left and then they came back. But there was one point when I was going under, right, and they like before it even bring me back to the emergency room, like. Very weird way that they handled things, from what I remember. They put the anesthesia shit into the IV, and our parents like right behind me, and the lobby is like right there. And as I'm walking in the bag, I'm like, "Can we go get a chicken sandwich after this?" That's all I wanted was.
Was that like due to the anesthesia, or you were really craving a chicken sandwich?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you at this point.
And then you knocked out?
What was the real deal? But I was out. Like the guy was like, "All right, we're gonna count to 10." Da da da. He got to like 7.
It must be really funny to be an anesthesiologist sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, I can imagine that job being pretty tense because you got to insert a very specific amount of...
Yeah, you can kill somebody or you can put too little and they can wake
up
and
like, what the fuck is this?
Man, imagine the trial and error they had to go through to get that right.
Dude. No, well, there is no trial and error. The trial is
I'm saying,
when you
like,
fuck
I don't
up
think
and
we put
then you
enough for
gotta
this
go to
person.
jail. Because there's like a lot of, they have crazy, that's why being a doctor really to me doesn't make a difference, unless you want to make a difference and not make a buck, because the bucks go to insurance most of the time.
The only doctor I would be is like an eye doctor maybe.
I would be a...
Because I'm not going to do any procedures like surgery-wise there, but I'll get your prescription and give it to you and get you on your way.
It's not for me. I don't think I can be, like, all right, so... We'll come back to this whole surgery thing, but I asked about Grey's Anatomy, right? Because Vivi's been watching it. And
It's been around for like 27 years now,
so many years, right? But it's still on.
yeah.
She's still on there.
And now they like added a secondary show that they do
that
crossovers with and shit.
They're willing to make as much as she wants to stay, which is pretty much hilarious.
Which makes sense. I mean, if you kill her off, the hospital's
It's
kind of
done.
named after her.
Yeah,
The show's named after her.
You know, but anyway.
There's a lot of like big name actors that have come across that show.
Yeah, I'd say so. But I mean, I haven't watched it in its entirety. So Vivi's watching it, and I'm not really actively looking to watch it. So she's checking it out, and she's going through it. So I know, because I used to watch when I watched a certain sections of the beginning of the show, the first few seasons.
It's like the new, well, not the new at this point, but it's like the I guess the successor to like ER.
Yeah, but I mean, it's far surpassed the amount of years ER was on.
Yeah, but ER was like iconic. Like people.
So, I
who
mean,
were
I
watching
would say that this show would be considered the same thing to this new generation. But I digress. So I've watched a little bit of it, but she's watching it. So I know where. So she's been at certain points. I'm like, oh, I remember this and I remember that. And so then I'm like, okay. So now the storyline's in my head. And so she'll be watching, and I'll miss an episode or two and come back, and we'll be eating something. I'll watch an episode or two with her, and like, oh, okay, cool. So I've been keeping up with it in that regard, dude. Spoiler alert! Seriously, for anybody who hasn't watched it yet. So if it is, I just go get something to drink for a minute. But the way,
no, don't listen. We only have so many people watching. Just keep your ass there.
Yeah, just close your ears or something. Earmuffs.
You stay your ass in that seat.
Earmuffs. Cock balls, you know what I'm saying? So, you've seen when George died, right?
Seen a couple of them die. I don't remember too much about names, faces.
Do you remember George was the
it's like the skinnier guy, right?
The
skinny
little white guy that was with the Hispanic chick. Yeah, so did you see when they killed him?
Yeah.
Do you remember how he died?
It was like the Pink Mist episode or whatever. Like some.
No, that's the one where he was going to be in the military. I don't know. Maybe you're describing. I don't know if that's the name of. But either way, he joined the military. Spoiler alerts, like a motherfucker, right? Because this is like season 6, so it could be.
It's not a spoiler.
It's kind of early, but you know what? He was gonna go because a lot of them go.
At this point, it's not a spoiler alert. That happened like 19 years ago already.
Yeah, but some people are just whatever. Either way, I just was giving you an idea because we can't afford to lose any more subscribers. So he in this episode decided to join the military and become a military doctor.
Right.
He told I forget the name of the chief. He told the chief, and the chief was like, all right, go home, spend your last day with your family. You're leaving tomorrow. So he leaves. You don't think nothing of it. Then a John Doe comes in, right? Alive, but had jumped in front of a bus to save some lady, and the bus dragged him. And it dragged him and to the point where you couldn't identify the person by the face. Yes.
Damn.
But the way they find out, right, is he comes in and his face is all disfigured. Like you couldn't tell. And he had severe, like his skull crushed, things like that, bad, right? So they don't know. They allude to it a little bit in the episode, like just by showing his eyes, because he has like green eyes in the show. Well, in life, I guess. But he
well, it could be in the show. I mean,
so
they use contacts like that.
That'd be hilarious for fucking all those years. I can't stand it. Why can't we use my regular eyes? We have it in the show that you have green eyes.
Actually, they invented a new dye.
Why didn't you just hire somebody with green eyes?
That's gonna be the new shit one day. They're gonna inject dye to change the color of your eyes.
It's coming soon. Motherfuckers gonna be like, I'm blind.
Well, that's so gross.
So then throughout the whole episode, they're trying to keep him stable, and he is having issues with his brain or whatever. And Meredith comes to talk to him, and I guess they used to call him 007 because he was like, I don't know, a little.
He's an agent.
Yeah, I guess. So he grabs her hand and he puts 007 in her hand, and she's like, oh my god, like dude, like crazy. And she's like, it's George. They literally pull him into the fucking in surgery, his brain hemorrhages during surgery, and he dies. Dude, for such a beloved character on that show, I feel like that is
They kill people. I think they're notorious for killing off people in like the most savage ways of all time.
You're not the first person. I've heard that from many people recently. But like,
I'm pretty sure there was an episode, and I could be like mixing up shows here, but I'm pretty positive this is it. There was like some
which show? Grays?
Grays. I'm pretty sure it was like some bomb in the building. It's a bomb in the building.
It's a bomb in the building.
And one of the doctors, like, the doctors had to do it, right? They're trying to keep people out of that fucking place. And he like was making his way down like the hallway, and everybody else was like backing where they tried to, and the shit like exploded as he was carrying it. And that's what I refer to as like the pink mist episode. So yeah, it was a pretty graphic episode from what I remember.
Well, I mean, I'm looking forward to that episode. Yeah, so no, I always felt we watched this like 4 or 5 days ago, and I've been thinking about this like since it happened. I'm like, all right, these shows, there's a reason why, or there's more than one reason why, but a reason why it was nice that back in the day you had to wait a week. It's because this is emotionally traumatizing shit. You have to literally take a week and process all of this shit that happened in these TV shows. I'm glad I'm not one to watch those SVUs and these fucking criminal
never that.
And all these fucking
that really ever appealed to me, to be honest.
Dude, that's some heavy shit. And then if you think about watching
Twitter is that today. You don't really need it anymore.
Some people sit at home and watch like 12 episodes straight of this.
I know people
and you
who
know how
do
much
that.
death and just trauma that brings.
I know.
So my argument is that is a like irrationally disproportionate way to kill this man who was like beloved on the show, right? Like what? There was beef behind scenes, but okay. So here's what I think. I don't think obviously that was him.
I think the writer be mad as hell. Like, oh, you want to leave, huh? All right, you just watch.
Well, I think that there was like some
your legacy is over.
The behind the scenes of him, because I think he was gay, and they didn't. There was something, not that they didn't like him.
It was a less accepting time. There.
Yeah. So I don't think he was recording shows at that point, right? I think they used.
And I don't remember seeing him in anything since. And I don't remember seeing him in anything since.
Quit acting completely.
Just like, man, fuck this like industry. I'm out here.
I don't blame him. But no, like I think they used the stunt double for that, right? Because I don't think it was him.
I don't think you need a stunt double. It's not like somebody literally got dragged across.
Well, I mean, like, or whatever you want to call it, a body double. Because I think that at that point he wasn't doing any more of the show. But I just think it was fucked up. So if you've watched it or you're gonna watch it, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck, man?"
I know it's like
dude, you could not recognize.
I get that he was trying to like allude to the fact that it's me, but like being the person that experienced that 007 on your, I'm like, that would probably fucking fuck you up.
Hell yeah!
Like, no, don't do that. Stop right there.
Like oh man,
I don't know how we started with doctors.
Yeah.
And things,
okay. So the reason why I brought then the Grey's Anatomy up because I cut you off because I was like, I don't think I can ever be. Dude, that's a heavy burden.
I would never want to work in a hospital system.
Dude, being there is
like an ER doctor type of shit.
Being in the hospital is weird as it is, right? Like when I went in there, they gave me my IV, right into there, and like they tell you can't, like I can only be on a liquid diet, right? But part of the thing they make me drink, I'll just say, man, I got a colonoscopy, right? Because I got
all that beating around the bush.
I got to discuss it, right? So I got one, and it's only because to be thorough in my that's kind of where I was at with it. I wanted to be a little bit more thorough about my health because there's some hereditary things go on in our family. So that being said, I do advise those who should be getting it to get one. It's not nearly as bad as you would think. Adams had one when he was a kid.
I don't remember it being an enjoyable experience, but I mean,
no, not that it's enjoyable, but like there's nothing about it that's like
there's not
the worst part. Okay, so they make you take this drink. It's 4 liters of this like
liquid doo doo.
It makes you it makes you liquid doo doo. It does.
But I mean, it's gross tasting.
It doesn't even. It tastes like castor oil and all. It's like very viscous and it's bad.
Bringing out the science words to describe this shit, how nasty it is, You
drink
viscosity.
Listen, you drink 15 ounces every 15 minutes from starting at 5 o'clock.
This dog's hairs get everywhere.
So you drink half of it, then you drink another half of it at 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
dude, it took hours to finish this drink, and I shit forever, man. It was ridiculous.
I told you when I had that issue, I literally drank everything, and then I was like I was at the corner of it, right? Like I just put down the whole 40 and just the corner of the bottle left.
But yours was,
and I puked it all up.
Wasn't 4 liters.
And I was like, no, don't make me drink it again.
Mine was a full gallon of this bullshit. It's disgusting.
Like, you know the cups that they drink lean out of, right? Styrofoam cups that'd be like 8 inches tall. It was 2 of those. It was enough. It was enough of enough.
No, it's not. If it wasn't how much I drank, it was. Listen, either way, I don't know how
Gross.
you nearly shat as much as I shatted.
I didn't like it. That's all I know.
Dude, it was ridiculous. But anyway, so when you get in there, right, they give you the IV, and I couldn't. My veins were so flat. I was so dehydrated. I was like, I drank so much water and so much Gatorade and like apple juice and shit.
Like my veins should be plump.
Dude, she was like, luckily I'm not afraid of needles. Like,
I know you're not in the headphones, but keep
luckily I'm not afraid of needles. Because that's one thing I can't hear. I'm not afraid of needles like that. I can see why, like on the JBP and shit, like they'd be like, "Yo, can you talk into the mic?"
Well, they have headphones.
Now they have headphones,
and to be honest, even when you have headphones on, you're not much.
But
better
at least I can hear it. So like they gave me my little IV, and like it's just weird being in the hospital, right? Like I'm in a gown with my ass out, sitting on this.
Who decided to make them like that? Like, why aren't they just ones you pull completely over?
Like, why wouldn't they just why wouldn't they just be pull over fucking gowns?
Like, listen, I need your ass to be visible.
This way they don't have to buy sizes. Fat people, skinny people.
I'll be telling you, man, men are the one who create these things. Like, there's gonna be women who wear these gowns too. That's these.
Yeah, but those men were. I guess that makes sense because men are dumb enough to not think about the fact that men have to wear these too.
It's true.
It's like going to nude beaches. I assume it's mostly.
Or
dudes.
you just take the good with the bad.
A bunch of dudes with their dicks out waiting to see bitches.
On a slightly related topic, yo, every time that I've been to the doctor, because I had to go like a million times over this breathing issue, I don't know if it's like women with particularly ample ass decide to have a job where it requires you to wear scrubs, or if the scrubs just make it look like they have an ample amount of ass. But all the women in scrubs, it looks phenomenal. I don't know.
Thus far, I've had pretty
just
much
a thought process.
only older ladies as nurses.
Dude,
so.
there's been like hot nurses
I got
who have checked me in.
nothing for that topic.
Almost every time that I've had to go and get checked in to go and see whatever new specialist, especially the specialist offices. They be having some fine woman bring you to the back. It's like, I'm going to be your nurse. I'm like, great.
Again, that's awesome. Not the experience I've had. But so it's funny, right? You know, you're just rolling through the. Then now they're pushing me through the hospital. I'm sitting down. I got this IV connected, so I don't want to like move my hand because I don't want to rip it right out of my hand. And I'm on this wheelchair, and I had to make sure before I sat on the wheelchair to tuck the fabric underneath my butt.
You don't want to roll it over.
I didn't want my butt just out there on the
That's true too. Might be some nasty ass that have touched that before yours.
Well, so I was like, all right, let's not do that. So they get me up to where I am. They put me straight into the hospital bed. I lay on my side, and this is when you get the best sleep of your life. I never thought that I'd say that while getting something stuck up my butt, I was getting good sleep.
Anesthesia sleep. That's the shit that wake up and you're like, what the fuck happened? Somebody drugged me.
That's that REM cycle sleep. I know my eyes are going to.
I have no idea. I don't remember any kind of dream. I just remember waking up. It's a foggy,
I didn't
cloudy
say
haze.
dream. I just said.
No, I know, but that's when you dream is when you have the REM.
Rapid eye movement. Well, I don't know. I don't remember dream. I think there's a different REM cycle that they don't tell us about, and it was where I was at.
Maybe
like a week ago.
Maybe it's like when you use. They say you only use 10% of your brain at a time, but you can tap into more if you.
Dude, it's kind of scary to think about that we don't use 90% of our brains
at a time. We only use 10%
I
at a
100%
time.
believe the human race. If we were able to use 100%, we would probably be. Blown up already because, dude, it would be like
our brains
a whole bunch of
spontaneously combust.
It would be like who was the brain, not Pinky. Yeah. It'd be like a whole bunch of the brains everywhere, just fucking huge brains, like everybody just like world domination, Mr. Burns.
See,
shit.
I always misheard it when I was younger. Right? I always thought that it meant like I have this whole brain, but I only use this section of it constantly, right? But
so that's how you've considered. You've always thought about like in like a pie chart.
Like I only use 10%
this little sliver right here.
Yes, and then after I was like made more aware, I realized that it's 10% at any given time, any different part of your brain, but only 10%.
So is it possible? I'm just gonna forgive me.
I think the ones who use more than that are
I might offend folks with this comment, but is it possible that all human beings, based on the fact that we're only able to use 10% of this brain that's on our head, our own head, are all remedial?
I was watching Javi Mandel has a podcast, right? And he had
Are we all stupid?
he had Whitney Cummings on there, and she's like, I want to be able to say things like the word retarded. She's like, when we say things like that, I don't ever mean it about anybody who has any kind of brain function disabilities or anything like that. I use it to describe people who are acting retarded. She's like, I want that word back. I'm like, yo, this is why comedians are so essential
They're
to
so
the world for me.
essential.
Like,
Well, okay. So that being said, are we all? Are we
No,
all?
no.
But no. Let's be honest.
but the
If
people
you
who
had a
aren't,
car
the people
and
who use more than 10% are the Malcolm in the Middles of the world. Like those people actually exist. He was just based on a fictional character, but like those ones actually exist.
He was just based on a fictional character. You can't give me a real character that's fucking. Tell me somebody you know that's actually Malcolm in the Middle.
Well, I don't know anybody.
Exactly, because
particularly
they
that
don't
way.
exist. Listen,
They
if
do.
you
I
had a
just don't know
car-
them. Like, I don't know any rich people.
If you had a car, right?
That's to say, like, oh, what, rich people don't exist because I don't know any personally. No.
If you had a car, right? Perfect.
I do.
You got one. And if you went
And it's
out
clean
there,
as a motherfucker
if you
right
went
now.
out there and you pressed, that push to start button and it,
Yeah.
and only 10% of that engine worked, you would call your car retarded.
Probably not.
I'm trying to do it without calling humans that. I'm just letting you know that that's what you would do. Be like, what's up with this stupid car? Why is it not working to its 100% capacity?
Well, no, listen.
Why does it sound... Okay, it's a 6, right? So like
I treat
that
my
would mean
car-
like a half a cylinder's working.
I treat my
Your car
car-
would sound like absolute dog shit.
I treat my car as a child in some ways, and I'm like, come on, baby, you gotta get it together, Smack it on the steering wheel a little bit.
But that's...
Let's do this.
You ever did that to your brain and tell it to give you 100%?
Yeah, I'm like, what's wrong with me, man?
Usually, taps on the brain don't go well for human beings.
Nah, I mean, it has the opposite effect of like trying to.
Let me ask you, do you think like when people like Tua go through their big ass injuries recently, do you think now they're at like 8%?
I don't know how it works. But listen, I also know people who have had like multiple concussions in their life based on the things that they did, like high school.
And they're smarter?
No, not that they're smarter, but like they don't seem that they're necessarily any less able to think.
Yeah, but
you know?
I think I don't know, man. I think
I'm sure it affects people differently.
Obviously it depends on what kind of injury you sustained, how often, how quickly after the first one you got the second one, because now you're more susceptible after you've gotten the first concussion, right? And
I mean,
after
you
you've
hit
gotten
your head again.
because it's like bruised.
It's not like, oh, I hit my head, now I stubbed my toe, oh, I got a concussion because last time, no, it's like, you have to hit your head again still.
My brain.
Ow, my freaking ears.
I'm just wondering, are all humans just kind of a little bit off?
Well, yeah, I think so. I mean,
Dude, how do we not? Okay, never
most humans have some kind of like. Most humans are dumb.
Okay, so back to like the whole rolling through the hospital with my butt out.
Yeah.
So they get you
Rolling down
but
the
like,
hall
like
with my butt out.
So I've been put under 3 times. This is the third time, obviously, and this one was a little different when because usually he's like, all right, give me like 9 seconds or whatever. This guy's like, all right, I put it in there. You might taste a little something funny.
That's what she said.
Pause. And he's like, then just breathe in and out slowly for 45 seconds. And like, I gotta say, when you feel yourself nodding out, feels like that good sleep's coming.
Yeah, but the most confusing thing in the world is waking up in the hospital afterwards.
Um,
Because I'm like, all right, listen. Last I remember, I'm rolling down the hallway, laying in this bed.
See, I never knocked out on the way to the room. I would be so worried that they didn't put me in the right room.
I've been. And that is worry. Like, because motherfuckers make mistakes and
I
files
swear,
get
like
put in the wrong places.
the screen was right here, and I just kept making sure it said my name. And
Like, if you ever
I was
had a
like,
doctor
okay,
come
I am
in-
getting that. That's happening. We're gonna do this.
If you ever had a doctor come into your hospital room and they were like, oh, it looks like you're here for blah, blah, blah. No. That's not what I'm here for. I don't know which file you
had
got.
that?
I'm pretty sure, yeah. Had
What?
that happen. But it's not like something crazy.
Get me the fuck out of here!
It's not like
right?
something crazy. Not like, oh, we're supposed to remove like part of your liver today. Like, no, it's never been like something weird. But like, definitely just that's not me. I don't know. Bed over to the left, maybe. But
You know what? That reminds me, liver thing. In Grey's, right? Did you see the episode?
I love that Grey's Anatomy is the theme.
Did you see the episode where her dad needed the transplant?
You want to talk about Days of Our Lives after this or something?
No, because I'm bringing it up because I'm asking. I want to ask about what would you be able to do this? Did you see the episode where her dad needed the transplant, and she ended up giving it to him? But it's her dad. Remember, her dad abandoned her or whatever when she was younger, and he came in as an alcoholic and he needed the transplant.
Nah, I mean, if I was abandoned by my father at a young age, and then he came back when he needed something, I'd be like, nah, I'm gonna abandon you now, bitch.
Yeah, but I'm not. Well, I guess there's no point. But either way, setting it up, her dad left her mad young. Came back into her life a little bit. Her sister worked in the hospital with her, and she was close to her sister. Her sister wasn't a match, but she was, right? And then she was fighting the idea of whether or not she'd be able to do it. I personally just don't know that I would be able to risk my. That's a very.
Listen, I take care of my
That
parents.
procedure is crazy, man.
I take care of my parents because they did what they needed to do. If they weren't the way that they are now, the answer would probably be no, hell to the motherfucking no to the no.
Well,
you know?
like, what extreme would that be? Like, are you talking about like he wasn't there? Like,
Yeah,
he
like,
wasn't there for her?
Just bounced. He was like, I'm out of here, And I hadn't seen him for like 14 years. Nah, I'm good.
And 14 years. And how old were you with them when did they leave?
I don't know. Listen, I can't
think
put
that
myself in
matters.
those.
I think it matters. If you were 14 and they left, that's crazy. If you were 20 and they left, well,
Well, they
left you.
They don't technically leave when you're 20.
Technically, they left your mom, not you.
They don't technically leave when you're 20. Like, when you're 20, you should be leaving. All right, I'm out of here. I'm going to go find a way to my life. So there's not really, I don't really.
Man, it's like
I don't equate
mustache
those
hair
things.
is like fucking with my nose.
On a similar, but not really related note, do you think, like in Grey's Anatomy, there's a whole lot of like on-call room fucking that they
aliens are in the all-call room. Right?
Do you think that that's be happening in those things?
I've heard yesterday from a person that's a nurse that yes, that is a thing. They be fucking in the on-call room.
Like regularly, they just be knocking boots because they ain't got time for real life. They got to be on call.
Yeah, they got to fuck.
Because like every show that's depicted in a hospital, like for me, my favorite one is Scrubs. They had their serious moments, but it's like hilarious, and it doesn't, those two just make a good tandem. But they also fuck a lot in
that
on-call
they got a
rooms
pod.
and shit.
I haven't gone back to it in a while.
They be doing commercials and shit together now. It's hilarious. But yeah, every hospital show, every like ER style show, they depict like a lot of just knocking boots on their free time. They're like, I'm on call for the next 5 hours, so let's get busy.
And give me some good love.
All right, well,
I think I would be, if I was a doctor, I would be like, I'd be fucking in that on-call room for sure. Like, I'm like,
especially if the nurses are the way that I have seen them be.
It would be cold to be like, are you on call tonight? You're gonna be on call.
That's why, like, I don't think it's one of those things like show business. I don't think it ever makes sense to get married. Something is gonna fuck your relationship up. Unless you're married to like somebody.
You saw it happen in that show plenty of times. I think it just.
I mean, I'm already on that side with things in the first place, but in certain situations,
profession matters.
Yeah, it really does.
Profession matters. I told Vivi, I was like, listen, if I was like a professional athlete and I had you before, fine. But if I met you after, I probably.
But even then, as a professional athlete, many people go in there with existing women and they end up cheated on and blah blah blah. I know, blah.
But you're not gonna leave somebody because you became. Listen, I'm an athlete. I'm trying. Fuck.
I don't know, man. It depends. Listen, think about it. When you get drafted in the NBA, 18, 19, 20, 21 years old, okay? I might just be like, listen, we had a good run, but I'm going to go and fuck everything that moves after games. So
everything?
Not everything, but you know what I mean.
Well, you got to say what you mean.
It's been a hell of a half an hour that we've had so far. All right, well, I guess we can move to things that, like...
matter?
Does anything matter?
Not really, but you know what? I did just this week. So I had my procedure Monday,
right?
And I couldn't really eat nothing crazy, right? Like when you're done, when you get through that, they're gonna be like, all right, something not greasy, not heavy fried or whatever.
Some Jello, some mashed potatoes.
I ate some. I think
it's not like you ain't got no teeth.
I think I ate like pasta or some shit, right? But then the next morning, I took the day off the next day, so we went and got breakfast, and we ended up going to see a movie and going to Ikea. Both of those two things I want to talk about. So, when was the last time you went to a theater?
A couple of years ago.
Okay, so
I don't even remember what I saw.
I don't remember my last movie either, but it's been about 3 years for me, probably. Sometime in COVID, we went. And goddamn, you snoring. So I went and saw. I don't usually like to go to the theater. I'm not a big fan of sitting in the show with everybody. Like, this is bullshit.
It depends. But like now that I've seen high class theaters where they have like leather reclinable seats and shit like that. Like some of those theaters, they literally have servers who come around and they order take food orders and shit. Like I don't want to go to a normal ass fucking theater
Well,
now.
of course. If I'm going to go to the
Shit
theater,
is
I'm going to
upper
go to
class.
that type of situation.
Yeah.
But I normally don't care to go. I don't want to be so many people at the theater. I just get tired of it. But
There are some
we
things.
go into a matinee. We went to a 12:45 show. Beautiful. It was like 8 people in the theater, I think, at the most.
You know what throws you off in a theater is like you can't go to a movie on like the release week. You got to go like
Do you
2-3
think that
weeks
they
after a
should
movie
allow
comes out.
like there should be like a major multiplex for like adult films?
I'm sure there probably is in some places.
That's a little weird though. Like imagine
I'm not trying to go into a
Yeah, I'm not
theater
going to that.
and
That
watch
seems like
nudity
that
movies.
is not gonna. You want like, nah. You just stay home and do that. Never mind. That's a terrible idea.
I mean, listen, that used to be a thing, and there's still
yeah,
like
but
peep
like
shows
no,
and
I'm
shit
talking
like
about
that.
like on the super duper big screen.
If I'm gonna go somewhere
like
to like,
ass the size of buildings.
if I'm gonna go somewhere to like see all that, I'm just gonna go to a nudie bar, you know?
Nudie Magazine Day.
No, ma'am.
So I went and it was cool. Again, nobody was there. Like barely anybody in the whole fucking building. So we watched Top Gun Maverick. And honestly, I gotta say, I enjoyed the shit out that movie.
That's Tom Cruise.
Yo,
you weren't really
I know
drunk.
he's
You just
weird,
had a
but-
few brews.
That guy got a good track record with movies, man.
He's a weird man, but that's the Scientology in him. What are you
Yeah,
gonna
but
do?
I think that helps him be a great actor.
I don't know because I think he started that series he did Top Gun, the first one before Scientology. I think I could be wrong. I don't know.
I mean, you might be right, but I don't think so. So, but a good movie. Listen, it's gonna be cheesy. He's this fucking 60-year-old guy who's now got to go fight on the fight. The point is he's got to go on to like.
It's like they did that last Rambo movie. Like, yo, Sylvester Stallone is 900 years old,
Yeah, he just walks around.
but he still was invincible.
And they make him look like a fucking giant in those movies. It's hilarious.
He's still swole.
Yeah, but he's not that tall.
No.
They make him look like he's like.
I'm pretty sure he's
6'7",
like 5'7".
Yeah, he's a very little guy actually. It's pretty funny.
He's not Arnold.
What if you walked up to what if you walked up to fucking Stallone and he looked like just like how like some sort of Family Guy episode you walk up to him and he's just a lot small. When they walked up to Jesus and Jesus was people were a lot smaller back in those days. Jesus was super little in Family Guy. Dude, I hope that if Jesus comes back, if that's a thing, for like, no offense, but if he comes back, I hope he's super small, man. That'd be hilarious. I think that would be really funny.
I mean, I think he's like officially a person. I just don't know what capacity, right?
yeah, that's what, I'm saying. Come back. Like, I don't
my
know
favorite
that that's a
depiction of
possibility.
anything involving Jesus is in that show Mo. And he's like, he was Palestinian. I love Jesus.
Dude, they made him so small that doo-doo-doo. Remember he was like like what the fuck? Like super like
Seth MacFarlane is a pretty funny man. I gotta give it to him.
those thoughts, the idea that you would make a cartoon version of like Jesus coming back, pretty funny to me.
I mean, death is a recurring character.
Death is a recurring character. Yeah, that's pretty funny. I would like to make a cartoon where I had free range like he does. But no,
So if anybody who's watching out of the 298, 97, depending on the day, is an animator, let's talk.
So if you had the ability, right, to go back to, let's say there was a finite amount of times they would allow you to go back in time to, okay, you can
Well, that depends how many times we're talking.
once. You can only
But
go
it's
back.
extraordinarily finite. Can I come back after that?
Finite in many ways because you can only go back one time.
Can I come back? Or am I stuck there once I decide to go?
I haven't decided yet in this scenario, but also they only give you
Give me
like
incomplete
there's
scenarios.
only like 10 or 12 events that you can go back to, and you have to complete like a certain set of things before you can come back, right? Like a scavenger hunt. What time? What? Let's say, all right. Let's give you 5 times. Let's say, times.
The Renaissance.
Let's go to like World War II. Like, what if what if you can convince Hitler to not be a dick? Right? What if you flash back? No, and you didn't even know when they were gonna put you there. You just end up in Hitler's office and shit. And he's like, fine. What are you doing here?
And I have the ability to communicate with him in German or whatever.
Yeah, you both going, fine. You're both doing these crazy ass accents and shit. And then you're like at the end of it, like you and Hitler just go get a beer or something. And like he doesn't do what he's supposed to do. What if, or, okay, so yeah, that's the thing. You can go back to these events, but you have to change the history of them.
So I have to go to like,
And if not, you got to.
so I have to go to basically like world changing, like
Yeah.
typically negative events.
Yeah. I mean, okay, let's pick positive ones.
Yeah, because if we go there, I mean, we have to like,
What's a positive event?
the creation of the automobile.
That was positive. Look at what's happening to the ozone layer.
Yeah, but I mean, I have a nice car outside now because of that.
Yeah, but Model Ts were not that exciting.
Well, I mean, they probably had like
If you
7
go back-
horsepower.
Huh?
Probably had like 7 horsepower.
Can you imagine?
The engine, there's like 7 exhausts on there.
Dude, I would. Auga, auga. That was what the fucking. Dude, it would be great to be. Honestly, I would like to be around those times. Okay, if there was no racism, the 50s for cars would probably be the coolest era to go. Like people get these 57
late 50s, early 60s.
Oh, I'm a 56, 57 Chevy guy. Like I love those cars a lot.
I don't know, man. Cars were pretty great up until like 69.
69 is just a funny
Because the
number,
GTO is just like, you know, that's
No,
that's one of
cars are
mine
cool.
up there.
Cars
so.
are cool. Like I think 72, 73.
Well, they still had steel frames. They were cool.
No,
and they
once
turned
they
into
started
shit.
with the gas prices, with that stupid gas crisis, they changed everything. And we just bounced around from like 12 fucking topics.
That's what we do.
It's what we do, baby. But no, I do recommend Top Gun. He does a good job. It's not super cheesy. It's not.
Next time you come with a time period scenario, you got to have more specific things.
I know
we
we jumped and jumped, and I was like, oh fuck it, whatever. We're not going back. I'm not going back now.
Because like I've been watching the or listening to, because they don't really have like a visual for most episodes. David Spade, Dana Carvey's podcast, right?
Okay.
And
Does he do voices, Dana Carvey? You know.
Yeah, like he'll sit there and make fun of like some of the people that he messed with back in the day all the time. He does like Johnny Carson and shit like that a lot. But they always have like the best fucking guests for like our kind of era, right? Because it's the Adam Sandlers, Conan O'Brien's, all the people who started.
They're all like kind of the same circles.
The early Saturday Night Live shit. Like they have the fucking creator of Saturday Night Live. They had Chevy Chase on there. They have Rob Schneider. Like all these guys. And they just always are telling stories about like how they initially came up and like the way that they started with each other and like how they kind of got introduced to each other, and then everybody has like a Chris Farley story. So like those are kind of cool. Like that's where I would want to go back to. Just
Those
like
accounts.
be in the room with some. It's called Fly on the Wall podcast.
Okay.
So I was like, that's a pretty good name for it, because it's just like if I was there, I would love to like just hear some of the interactions and see how things kind of.
That era would be cool because I think if you were a certain age, I would, knowing who I am now, I would 100% probably attempt to be a comedian back then. Like, I think that would be really cool. Although I don't know that they would have accepted any Arabs really in that time, because
No, they would probably, because
Arabs
there was a
were
lot of
around
things that
back
were like
then?
a farce. Exactly. That's
Arabs
why.
didn't come around here till like a certain
That's
time.
exactly why. You know what I mean? Now
And
you're
my
like,
name wasn't like
you're gonna-
associated with terrorism.
if you could bring a unique perspective and you can make it funny, you're gonna be successful.
No, I think it would be pretty cool. Like, cause they talk about like all of like the super fucking well known acts. Like this is like right around the time where like Eddie Murphy's getting his fucking start.
They're
And
talking about like how Adam Sandler's, like when he first came, how his whole demeanor was, right? And he was like, they're like, yo, he was just so confident and so assured that he was gonna make it. And he was like, there were times, of course, where like, you know, as a comedian when coming up or any kind of show business thing where you'll have your doubts, and they're like, you know, you'll walk off and, you know, you'll see him in the middle of the hallway and he's leaning against the wall and he looks kind of like he's having like is this what I'm here? Like, did I go too far? It's like, were those voices a little much? Like, did they think anything? Because they're all trying to like, Saturday Night Live was the cornerstone.
You're trying to find your voice.
Saturday Night Live was the cornerstone. Like, if you can make it Saturday Night Live, your career opened all kinds of ways. So they were like basically trying to see, you know what I mean? It's just, and it's really cool to get kind of a perspective of how those things were back then, and especially with those guys.
Okay. How long does this podcast, like those episodes, be?
45 minutes to an hour.
I might have to check
you know.
that out. Actually, that sounds like something I wouldn't.
When they were talking to Rob Schneider, they were talking about like when Adam Sandler was casting Waterboy, and he was trying to get somebody to do "You Can Do It," right? And like they always have like a short 5-minute conversation or something before they get into the interview. So like it's just them two in the office, and like I guess, you know, the whatever, it's pre-recorded, and they're like telling stories about they like with the audition for that role, right? And they're like, now think about the scene. Like you're in a group full of people in a stadium, and like you're trying to like yell, "You can do it," pretty much, right? So they were like, there was no, it wasn't described like how it should be said. So David Spade's like, I was too serious in there. He's like, you can do it, like that type of thing. And then Dana Carvey, and he ended up saying that he didn't actually audition for it, but he at first he was like, yeah, he's like, I did mine like sexy. He's like, you can do it. And they were like, you know what, Rob Schneider's the only one who could have possibly done it and like made it successful.
No, of course, because he was like super. He is super funny, but he's a fucking weirdo now.
Yeah, I mean they're all weird in their own right, which is what made them successful. I think
I'd agree with that.
But all right, 45 minutes in, we can come back and
we are like dead on 45. Cool.
Yeah, be right back.
That was probably the funniest pillow funniest pillow advertisement for one of the greatest inventions I've ever seen. Right, like it's so difficult to get comfortable when you're traveling on a plane.
Or anything that you have to travel on for a long period of time.
Agreed, but a plane specifically because they like to pack us in there like some fucking sardines, right? Like, listen, you haven't been on a plane in a few years. The fucking person in front of you is getting closer.
I know how it is. Trust me.
No, I think it's progressively.
I'm not like you. I was a traveler.
I get it. What I'm saying is, I think since COVID happened, right? For whatever reasons, counterintuitive, I feel like that seat's getting closer to my face every time I get on a plane.
Well, it's supposed to be the opposite.
That's what I'm saying.
Social distancing.
That's why I'm saying it's counterintuitive. But that pillow, so if, I don't know how we can describe it, but it looks, basically it's a pillow where it's got openings on both sides. It's hollow. It's openings for both arms and a place for you to just throw your face.
If you ever gotten a massage on a professional level and they have like those tables where you put your face in the hole.
It's similar.
So you can breathe still.
But this was meant for you to put it on the tray, the food tray, and then just kind of like...
Or I imagine on your lap, if nothing else, you know?
They actually showed it like nestled up on the side. Anyway, it's difficult to get into a nice, comfortable position while traveling on a plane, dude.
I know. I've taken some long flights and been like, this is the worst shit of all time.
I'm taking that exit row.
At some point, you just get mad and you're just like, oh, fucking sit here like this.
I take that exit
next
row
3.5 hours.
for no matter. Dude, you'd be like, sir, are you comfortable with all of the things we've asked you to do in the exit row? And I'll be like, yeah. It comes with a foot extra of space.
Sometimes when I look at them, I'll be like, listen, man, let me explain something to you. If we're in an emergency situation and this plane is going down, I don't give a fuck about the other people on this plane. I don't care about them. I'm gonna get myself to whatever position I feel like I can be the most potential.
I think that when you're in the exit row, I think you go out first.
Now, word up, they want you to like be strong enough to open the door and like.
I'll open that door to get out first.
I'm just saying. Listen, you can ask me whatever you want to.
Go back in. Go back in.
You can ask me whatever you want to in a calm situation where everything is cool, and I will give you an answer that will be completely different than what happens when shit is like hitting the fan.
We've seen what George does in instances of fire, kids, children, grandmothers. We've seen what Michael Scott does. All of his employees. He's like, I know they say women and children out first. He's like, but that doesn't apply in the workplace because what does he say? What's the word I'm looking for?
There's a hierarchy.
It's not. It's all about being treated
equal
equality, equal treatment. You know.
Well, I mean, listen. There's a reason why when Dwight was trying to give his display, he literally set a fire. He made it where the handle was hot.
Dude,
with the torch.
He went all out.
Angela threw her cat.
Dude, that scene. The first time I really watched it, like, it would make me chuckle so hard. When Oscar falls through the fucking and comes out of the thing or whatever, when Kevin is busting out the fucking vending machines to get all the food,
like, let me not try to figure out how to escape this building. Let me get whatever last couple of sugary items from this vending machine I can get.
I don't even want to think about being in that position because that's no position to ever be in.
Nah, but they were. Listen, man.
I'm watching on Netflix right now. They have it's a documentary, a 3-part series about the Nepalese earthquake that happened, right? And it's called Aftershock, and it's basically saying it's documenting a few people's vantage points during this specific trip. Like they're talking about people that were on Everest, people that were in base camp of Everest, people that were in I forget the name of the places up there, but like there's a lot of like specific areas that people like to hike when they're there to see certain vantage points, to see certain villages. And there's a specific village that during that earthquake was completely wiped out and covered in gravel, right? Like the whole village. There's nothing standing except one home, I think, there. Dude, it's really fucked up. And they're talking about like, and then they're talking about in Kathmandu, like that's where a large portion of it was felt. And honestly, it's crazy, man. Some of that stuff is just really out there. Like I was watching a lot of this, but I only was watching it from the mountaineering side, right? Like people who were actually climbing up Everest and things of that nature. But to look at it from the more humanistic approach of, obviously this affected people's lives in the most tragic way you possibly can. And that shit was nuts, man. He's right here.
Oh, I never know where he's at.
But yeah, I would recommend that. Check it out. It's a really good documentary. I got to finish it today, actually. It's only 3 parts. And it's worth a glimpse into it.
Whenever we talk about these shows, they're not ads because we don't get paid by anything.
No, we don't get paid. I'm just saying, what you should watch. So I went to Ikea this last week. Same day I went to go watch the movie.
Yep.
And we were there for about 3 hours. We managed to leave fairly unscathed, but we have
just
a bad
like a mini mall. Have you ever seen the
We had
hilarious.
We have a plan though now coming out of there. But Ikea, I don't know how to describe the place. It feels almost like we're in some sort of different dimension, right? That floor, it just keeps, every corner is a different part of home life. It's like, you're like, oh, okay, where's the second floor? The second floor only has like trinkets and shit. That first floor, they cover everything you could possibly think of.
It's just the biggest like place. Like it feels like it's so much bigger. And maybe it is that, I don't know.
It's a big
All
building.
I know is
it's a pretty big building.
It's 3 floors where it goes completely around in circles.
It's like an octagon.
And inside of those, like if you look at it from like outside of one of the, I'll call them rooms, right? So you're like out on like the main area. And it looks like it's enormous. And then you realize that like you go into each individual room and it's even bigger than it looks.
It just goes deeper and deeper.
Shit is humongous in there. And it's like
putting together IKEA furniture is enough for me to never want to buy from IKEA. Any furniture, really. Putting things
IKEA is cool for certain things, right? Like there's certain home things that are already put together. You get like spatulas, you get fucking plates.
You can buy spatulas anywhere, dude.
No, I know, but
You
like
got IKEA to get their fucking spatula.
if I'm gonna be there already, anyways.
Let me tell you what I did
mean?
buy there. I bought there. I got a big ass bar of that chocolate they be having.
You can get chocolate anywhere.
No,
you went to
not
IKEA for
that
chocolate.
That chocolate was fire. Like we were there, I was like, "This is a big ass chocolate for $3.50." Like a big ass chocolate bar. It took me. I made sure to finish that shit quick. I was like, "This got to get out my house." It was fucking delicious.
That doesn't make any sense.
What?
That you wanted to eat it quickly so it got out of your house. But
Yeah.
either way, you just ate the whole thing and you did it in faster time than if you just let it chill at your house.
Yeah, but it would have got bad, like because I had opened it already. Like I had opened it. I just wanted to finish it already.
It's like those big ass, like the mega size Hershey's bars that they have.
Way
Shits be
better
like,
than those, and bigger than that, and more delicious. I don't know that it's really from Sweden, but I'll tell you this much: they sure got me thinking it was.
I mean, it might be. It's hard to like.
They ship this all the way from
It's
over
hard
there
to
in
debunk
Sweetland?
those things. Well, they ship a lot of things over from other places. That's what's great about the
That's
world
what
now is you can
people do,
ship
baby.
things. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. IKEA is not my favorite place to be. It's got a lot of things. It's just not a. Yeah.
I only go when I really have to, and we have to buy like 2 or 3 pieces of furniture. So that's what's.
You know what I hate about it is that you'll like go through and you'll find like the model number of something that you want upstairs, right? You'll be like, oh, this is a nice little
go down
like
and
desk
they don't have
chair,
it.
and then you have to find the model number, and then you have to go into like their warehouse version of it and find your own thing, and then
It's much
I'm like, yo,
like-
man, hire an extra employee to do this
Do you
shit.
remember when we used to go to Menards when we were younger, and it was the one where you had to drive in there and put it in our car ourselves and drive out and shit, and they'd have to like check to make sure you didn't steal anything? Kind of degrading.
Like if you just had somebody else,
It's like you made me purchase it, get it, bring it in here, and ship it. Literally, like everything is it's a self-serve. Why did I even pay? Should be able to just do this for free.
Like I should get a
It's
massive
labor.
discount. You know, it's like I work here.
That's what it is.
It's smart. It's kind of like how all these game plan is. Where like, listen, we'll hire one employee, and then you guys got to do everything else yourself. You got to collect the carts. You got to bag your own shit.
It's one of my least favorite things about Costco. Vivi be like, I'm going to Costco. I'm like, cool. I get a call. Hey, I'm coming down the block. I'm gonna need help bringing the stuff in. And I come in there. She doesn't even bother to grab a box. It's just it's like 50 loose items. I'm like, this is gonna take us forever.
Yeah.
There's no way to do the one trip thing with that. Everything from Costco is the size of this table.
I know my neighbors be looking at me.
Why
funny
do
when I
you
come
have
back.
45 bottles of shampoo?
My neighbors got to be looking at me crazy when I come back from grocery shopping. Because instead of I pop open the trunk, and God bless technology today, where you just hit the little button, it goes dee, 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 and the trunk comes down. I have like 50 bags in my hand, and then a case of water like underneath, held with like 2 fingers. Like, I'm not coming back to this car for this shit.
And your house is like pretty close to the kitchen. Like it's literally the.
But depending on what entrance
like
I get in,
15 feet. And if you back in, it's less than 15 feet.
Depends what entrance I come in.
Dude, I park in the garage. When I get
I've been
groceries
having
out of my
problems
house,
with my damn garage door, so I have to go in the front.
Yes, I don't know. I think that might be all in your head.
It's really not.
Did you try?
How's it all in my head when I open it and then it just stops halfway
use
through
it
opening
yesterday?
it? Or if I try to open it and then a button does
Did you
nothing.
use it
That's not an
yesterday?
all in your head situation.
No, did you use it yesterday?
Yeah, I used it yesterday.
And how did it go?
It went fine.
And then the last time you used it?
It stopped halfway through me trying to
I
open
don't
it.
think
And then I tried to hit the button again, and then it moved, and then it stopped.
I disagree. I think you're wrong.
You can't disagree.
All right. What,
It's not
what
something
you got
that's
on your phone to talk about,
it's
man?
not something agreeable
these
or
people
disagreeable.
Are here. These 298 or so some odd people, they're here to listen to us talk about things that
We
matter.
talked about Grey's Anatomy for 40 minutes. I think that
Grey's
ship has sailed.
Anatomy is a pretty good show. I'm not going to lie.
yeah,
I
but
won't
it's
say
also
that I'm
a show-
actively watching it.
It's also a show that we were talking about seasons like a decade plus ago. That ship has sailed. We could talk a little bit about Jay-Z, Young Hove, one person who actually is not discussed that often on our show. He has a drink called Douce, right? And they just for the background for
Have
the
you
people.
tried Douce?
No.
Me neither, actually.
Same way I haven't tried Ace of Spades, but I imagine that's much more expensive. So, but he has a drink collaboration with Bacardi called Douce, cognac. You know, VSOP.
Cognac.
But so apparently there's like some disagreement happening, and you know, when Jay wants things resolved, he can usually get it resolved, right?
I would assume so. He's Jay-Z.
And he got the money, he got the bankroll.
The
to do
God
so.
MC.
got
Me, J-Hope.
Master of ceremonies. So, so he's got the bankroll to go ahead and be like, yo, let's handle this. So basically, he is now trying to sell his stake. I don't know specifically what the disagreement is, but I think it's just like something to do with advertisement and dollars, and you know,
Well,
it's all dollars and cents.
That's really what it is. He's like, men lie, women lie, numbers don't, and that's what he goes by.
It's true. It's true.
Okay.
That's all there really is.
That's
there.
all you got to say.
That's all that is.
Just
you know?
reporting on it. Okay,
Just
that's
a little,
cool.
just a little. Yeah. In other news, you know,
What you got other than that? What's with some funny news? Because I feel like talking about funny shit.
funny news.
Have you seen any of the pictures about those lost and found Jordan 1s being coming up in stores and shit? Like a lot of people got them already. They're supposed to come out the 19th. I want them.
No, I have not.
Have you seen them?
I've seen them, yes, but I haven't.
Are you gonna try for them?
Maybe. I don't know.
What do you mean maybe?
I mean, maybe, man.
How often does a Chicago Jordan 1 come out?
I mean, there's been times.
How often?
There are
It's like every 4 or
times.
5 years. You're not gonna get it often, so you might. And if you don't get this,
It's like when they had the Jordan 10 Chicago, like they were doing all the different
Jordan
city
10 is
versions.
not the same as Jordan 1.
Just because you have an affinity
No,
for
but
a
it's
shoe
but
doesn't
it's
mean
not.
other people don't have
It's
affinities
not
for
the-
the other ones.
You'd rather
you know?
a Jordan 10 than a Jordan. Are you saying that?
No, I have one pair
Are
of
you
10s and then a
saying-
bunch of other ones. So
Are
clearly,
you saying
that's not.
that the 10 is on par with the 1?
The one is obviously a more
Answer the
diverse shoe. You
question.
can use it
Yes
for
or
many
no?
other situations.
Is it on par?
But I like the 10.
Is it on par, popularity, historically, all that? I'm just asking objectively.
Probably not.
Okay,
However,
so what I'm
I
saying
will say
is
this
a
in
Chicago-
terms of your historical thing, it is the only shoe that gives you every stat that Jordan
okay.
had
Well,
on the
it's
back
because
of
he
on the bottom of
retired,
it.
right, when they came out. But I'm saying is Jordan, the Jordan 1 Chicago colorway is a way different, it's perceived different, it's thought of different than a Chicago colorway of a Jordan 10.
Sure.
Is it not?
Fine.
So what I'm saying is, plus I think if the Jordan 10 Chicago colorway came out, you'd be able to get that 2, 4, 7, 12 years after it came out.
No, that's not true because
It wouldn't be that
it came out probably like 4 years ago, and it's not available now. So
Well,
your
not
theory
now.
is wrong,
Well,
sir.
I'm saying, okay, well, you have some time.
Well, you said 2, 4,
This
10, 7
Jordan
years.
1 is going to sell out, so you have to try on that day. That's what I'm saying. So you're not going to give it a shot?
Well, the one, everybody wants the one. Yeah.
They're saying there's 500,000 pairs out there.
I don't think that matters. Like I told you before,
Well,
sneakers
there
finally
are
for the
some-
first
there
time
are-
asked me, "Hey, how do you think things are in terms of like being able to get a shoe? Is it fair?"
Oh,
No,
you know
motherfucker, it's
what?
not fair.
I just got exclusive access.
Fuck.
I had gotten exclusive access for those military black 4s. I don't know how or why, but I didn't buy it. I didn't try.
I think earlier on they used to drop those a little bit more frequently because I
Yeah.
had like, and then they stopped.
So from what I understand is a lot of these companies are trying to limit like resellers based on what they see your purchase history being. They said if they even suspect it, they're literally you don't get your money back. It's
That's
like,
great, but if you ask me, it's like too little, too late. First of all,
of course,
this
of
has
course.
been happening for like
But I'm
15
saying
years.
it-
Second of all,
it'll
they
still
really
help.
haven't done anything.
It'll still help for the lost and founds. That's fine. It did suck to like a lot of Jordans I wanted that I didn't
There's
have.
a lot that I missed out
Man.
on.
But I think you have to go ahead and try for these. Just off the fact that you don't know that you might as well give it a shot since
I'll probably try. I have those other Chicago ones.
which
like
kind of ones you're talking about.
The black have like the gold wings, and then it's like the gum bottom. They're not here. They're downstairs. I'll show you.
Oh yeah. Those are like a mid, aren't they?
It's a OG.
It's an OG.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're right. I do remember.
do.
But no, I think
Look at the inside of the shoe.
I'm not a mid guy.
It has like the whole grid pattern.
I'm not a mid guy. I like only OGs pretty much in terms of like the
Depends, man. Listen,
the
there
size.
was a pair that came out the other day that I was thinking about getting a mid, and it was like a red and black and white, and I was like, these are like they're like the same colors as band, which I mean, let's be honest, they do that a few different ways, anyways. So it's the small variations that throw you off in the Jordan game. But
if you look at like how much, if we go to GOAT, right, and you go to Air Jordan 1 OG, the Air Jordan 1 OG Chicago.
Chicago, man. It's Lupe Fiasco. Another Chicago product.
Chicago, man. Yeah, so the breads, the hell? All right, I don't know what the hell that means. Okay, so the breads, all right. Oh, that's the patent bread. No wonder. I was like, why are they so fucking cheap? Yo, I want those fucking starfish.
Yeah, I think those are probably the ones I was talking about because they're like they I'm like, these are the shiny ass shoes.
The starfish, you know which one that's coming out, right? For the women's?
Yeah.
The
women always
orange
be
kid?
getting the best fucking colorways.
Dude, that's such a nice fucking pair of shoes. But
Yo, Nike Jordan.
there's
Because you're one and the same.
There's
Can
no
you stop
way.
giving us not the nice colorways?
there's no way for us to get that ever, man, which sucks.
Yeah, listen. This
I'd
is
be
my
like,
beef.
can my foot fit in these
I'm pretty
things?
sure I've said this before, but my beef is women can fit into a men's shoe because they could just get a smaller one and size up. It may not be a perfect fit, but they never really are. If there's a dope ass colorway coming out in women's, men can't do that if you're a normal sized man.
Men can't do that.
Like if you have a size 9 and above, you really can't do that. You know?
No, I fucking hate that happens. But I feel like they
Salty.
may end up just re-releasing it. Either way, a lot of these like, the bread or the black and blue whatever's, the OG Royals, they're like over in the 500 range. And if you go to like our size 12, look at the 2015 Chicago Jordan 1 for my size right now is $1,800.
Yeah, it's
2015 version.
pricey.
So I'm saying is, even if you didn't want these, you want these just to hold on to, right? But I think I'm copping, or I'm gonna try to cop. This will be the first time I've tried to buy a pair since the last 2 pairs I've bought and was able to get.
This will be the last time I try to buy a pair. Since the last time I tried to buy a pair.
Nobody's called me a fickle. What do you call it? A fizzle? But no.
Nobody
what
calls
I'm
me a
saying is,
fizzle and gets away with
I
it.
haven't tried since. I've been like, all right, I'm gonna be selective. right? I'm not going to keep trying to get some shoes and not get them. So I was like, all right,
it's gonna happen.
if I'm going to go for these, I'm going to try to go 3 for 3, and I hope that I get these, man, because I really fucking want them.
When you get the trifecta, you probably will never get lucky again after that.
You're gonna, man, that'd be crazy. The trifecta. Are you gonna try for the cherry 11s?
Maybe is that the holiday release this year?
Yes, the holiday release of the 11.
I'd never, ever get lucky on the holiday
Did
release.
you see him?
And you know what makes me so mad is that my birthday is like right around the holiday release every time.
Nike don't give no fuck about your birthday.
No, of course not. I would hope that they would. Motherfucker, if you look at the Nike app, it says, oh, you've been a member since 2014. Probably when the inception of the Nike app came out. Hook me up sometimes.
They don't even have all my purchases. There's like 4 that they're missing.
I don't know what they did to that either, but mine are also not even on the sneakers app anymore. All right, so you want to talk about something funny? The origins of this story, not so funny maybe, but the outcome, hilarious. Alex Jones.
Okay.
So he is the Sandy Hook conspiracy theorist. Said a lot of things that offended a lot of people, pissed a lot of people off. Naturally, when talking about
this guy is a pretty great example of
a piece of shit.
Yeah, a piece of shit. But also, you got to watch what you say about things that you like. You can't go on and on and on about this shit and not expect.
There's being a conspiracy theorist, and then there's directly offending people.
$1 billion from this motherfucker.
$965 million.
Dude.
965 million.
That's crazy. But
$1 million
but
cajillion for $1 billion.
Isn't it like a reap what you sow? You know, I made your bed, you lie in it, you suck.
I say, yo, I'm not a mathematician, but that sounds like a lot of fucking money.
All right, so obviously you're not going to be able to find a complete correct.
Now the truth will set you free, but a lie can cost you $1 billion. That's all I'm saying. It's a lot of money, man. He said, "Oh, if anything more than like what do you say, like anything more than like 50 million or some shit like that would fuck up his whole."
They're taking all of that. Alex Jones is an American. Wait, hold on. Wait, where are we at? Alex Jones is an American far-right political extremist and conspiracy theorist who has a net worth of $900 million.
He's gonna be 65 million in the hole after this. I'm sure there's like limits, and they're not gonna be able to take the whole thing from him and all that shit. But that's crazy. Like if they told me
he's claimed that he's worth no more than $2 million.
Full of shit. If they told me, right, if you had to choose, you're sitting in court, and you are the defendant, and they're like, you either get a $965 million bill that you have to pay, or you get life in prison. Which one would you like?
I'm gonna try to find a way to pay that bill, but I'm probably gonna fake my death at some point.
Like, I will pay you, checks in the mail. You know,
dude, I would. There's no way. What do you want from? Like, I already gave you my lunch money. What more do you want from me? Right?
Look at you quoting Eminem, man. That's crazy.
We've talked about that Eminem. I like that Eminem. By the way, I've been hearing because what's the name of Math's podcast?
My Expert Opinion.
My Expert Opinion. Dope podcast. Shout out Math Hoffa. But I've been hearing, he always has, obviously, he's got a lot of good interviews recently, but he has Crook and Joel on there. And I just can't help but not like Crooked Eye.
Actually, I don't mind Crooked Eye as much as I don't like Joel.
Really?
I don't know what the fuck he just so extra with it, you know? Listen, man.
He's super New York.
First of all,
he's super OD, yo. He's mad OD.
Yeah, OD is perfect. But what is wrong with it? He gets a little extra, and I'm like, listen, man. First of all,
I don't like New York slang, man. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, but a lot of New Yorkers pissed off at you saying anything like that. Also, it's funny because New York slang changes based on the borough anyway. It's not always the same. Yeah, I think they look at each other that same way. Because it was funny, they had who the fuck did they have on there? Oh, he had Tony Yayo and Uncle Murda, and they were talking about the difference between Brooklyn and Harlem and
because Yayo's from Harlem, right?
And Queens and all that shit, right? No, I think he's from Queens, technically. He grew up with
Oh, he is from Queens. That's right. He's not from
Harlem. Uncle Murda is from Brooklyn and Matt is from Brooklyn, and they're just all that tension. And I'm like, it's so funny how New York has so much inner beef.
There was a lot of tension in that interview, right? They said that
Yayo was a little bit of a crazy person. I ain't gonna lie. It's funny, but he's a crazy man.
Because he was a loose cannon in that interview, right?
He just he started the whole thing, right? It's called Mecca, sitting next to Math, right? And he said something about K-Slay in some interview. And Yayo went straight to him and he's like, "Yeah, I got a bone to settle with you, man." He's like, "That shit you said about K-Slay was disrespectful, da 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 da." And then they were like literally going back and forth about it for a minute. And maybe it wasn't Mecca, maybe it was Heineken. I don't remember, man. And he has like 30 people on the show.
Yeah.
But it just started like a whole hostile scene for like the next 10 minutes. And then like it kept coming back to it. And Yayo like is the first time that I saw Math unable to kind of keep control of things. Because like he'll ask a question and then Yayo just like go off the rails. And like he's like, "Yo, listen." He's like, "There's mad people who listen to this. There's mad people, like the next G Unit is out there. And you guys were one of the biggest groups ever. And you had a massive falling out. And people would like to understand why. How can we avoid this?" And he just like, "Oh, you want to talk about his game, and talk about blah blah blah." And like he just was going nuts, and I was like, "Man, Yayo need to calm down a little bit." And Uncle Murder's sitting there like just smoking, like letting him just talk, do whatever.
I heard about that interview, but I was like, because there's an interview part for the Joel and Crooked interview where they're asking about the Joe Budden situation, and I know that's been coming up a little bit more. Like these guys were talking about it and talking about the Slaughter situation, and then I just recently saw that Maul was talking about he called Joe a thief a couple days ago, and I heard that Joe responded, and it's in a new podcast, and I haven't gotten there yet, so I'm trying to get this other one finished so I can listen to that one.
The last one that I watched,
talks about,
because they were like they left again for like another week, and then they came back and did.
He went to Yellowstone. Or not Yellowstone, Wyoming.
Yes, and then they came back, and he was like, he basically like alluded to like there's other people he wants to discuss. He was like, we won't get into that this episode, maybe on Patreon or whatever. Like, so he I think he was talking about
Maul
and
well, I mean, listen, I don't know. I still to this day I don't like. Nobody knows what happened. They're men. They're gonna not disclose it, which is it's good. It should be kept in house.
My only thing is, like if we were all in a group and then two of the group members decided they're gonna go and continue using the group's name, I would have an issue with it too. Like there's gonna be, you can't expect that was just gonna go unchallenged.
Yeah, well, I listen. I just also don't like Crook. Just to me, I don't know how you like Crooked Eye. He just seems so like.
To me, it's just he's. It's not even necessarily about like dislike with me for him. When they go into these interviews, it's always obviously going to be Crook and Joel in an interview, and usually it's going to be Joe and Royce that are put together. But Crook just has more of a level head when he's talking about it. He doesn't get super overly passionate. I feel like Joel like gets borderline disrespectful when he's in there because he like seems like he's just so. I don't know if it's like hurt or if it's.
I think they're hurt,
but I'm like, calm down, man. Like,
because I don't think this thing is doing numbers like they wanted it to.
I mean, you have a fan base that literally was split amongst the four of you.
Yeah.
You all brought a fan base, and it's like if we met like some other fucking podcasters who had 297 subscribers, and then they came to our show, and all of a sudden we have 600.
That would be awesome. We'd be so close to 1,000. Dude, I don't even think we're going to hit 300 by the end of the year. This is fucking ridiculous.
Listen, we'll worry about those qualms in house.
We can never have this is Sparta, because we don't have 300.
Dang. What if we even tried to like set that up, and then by the time Tuesday came around, it's back to 299?
Yo, it's been jumping up and jumping down.
It's been up and down. I'm pretty sure there's one person out there who's listening to this, and they subscribe and unsubscribe on a day-to-day basis.
Every time I say, Adam, hey, you saw we went up again? I look and we're down.
It's kind of funny in a way.
And we don't do it for the numbers, but at this point, it's really interesting to see the way this is playing out.
YouTube, get your algorithms together.
YouTube doesn't like us, man. It's what I've decided.
But it's not like it's not a thing that's individual to us. Apparently, there's a lot of YouTubers who complain about how things operate under YouTube umbrella, and the only problem for us is that it's like the main hub for like video creations like this.
Yeah, there's not much. I mean, I hear that YouTube Shorts is probably a good idea, to be honest. Did you see that Wallow and Gilly signed like an extension with Barstool?
I didn't see that.
Look at this. The video is crazy. Like, cause man, they done came the fuck up, them dudes. But like, yeah, I don't know how much they signed for, but they look like they definitely were happier than a motherfucker about it.
I bet they are.
Look at that. They're rich. They're playing Rich Forever. We gonna be
He got
rich
that big ass bottle of New Amsterdam and shit.
forever. And I don't know if he's really crying, but I would be crying like a motherfucker if you were like, "Yo, here you go, brother. Here's all the money you would needed and all the success you wanted for the thing that you enjoy doing."
Big ass bottle of New Amsterdam in his hand.
Why New Amsterdam? I think maybe there's got to be some sort of sponsorship between them, because I would be sipping the shit out of New Amsterdam if they gave me some money. I don't even want no damn
That's
vodka.
pretty crazy, man. It's got to be a nice feeling.
Look,
Give us that feeling.
You see, like, look how he's being all dramatic. And then if you go, like, keep watching, they like do a big hug at the end. Either way, I mean, if they were being true, like, have you seen these cars these motherfuckers been driving? Wallow's been making it a point to get all the cars he wanted.
Oh, they both got some New Amsterdam. They're definitely a deal.
But Wallow got some shit that he some cars he wanted in the late 80s, early 90s and shit. Look at dude, imagine that. Woo, shit. Shout out to them, man. They deserve it. I like both of them a lot.
It looks like they love each other, man. You know?
Oh man, one day this podcast gonna pop. Barstool gonna fuck with us or something.
All right, man. New rule. I'm not giving you another hug until we sign a deal.
I ain't hugging this motherfucker ever again. Well, hopefully soon at some point. I'll hug him at 300.
We got there, man. We can shoot a video just like this.
We may never hug again if that's the point. Like, this shit ain't going. Dude, we've gotten to 299, 298, 297, 296, 298, 299,
At one point,
296.
we were thinking we were never going to hit 150. All right? We had the same issue. Given it's not like we moved that high up, but we've...
Dude, it's literally, this is the 100th episode shirt, right? It's been 55 episodes.
Come on, man. My guy. That was Kiona and Kasson podcast. We're in the Kasson Ave podcast stage
which
right
seems
now,
equally as successful.
Either people don't like the name change or
they don't. I don't know what it is.
Whoever that guy is who keeps subscribing and unsubscribing, he's like trying to figure it out. I don't like it. And then he comes back tomorrow like, okay, it's not that bad.
If it is the same person, I would really despise the
I'd like
fact.
to punch him in the jejunum.
Stay. Just get us to 300.
Like to punch him in the jejunum.
You know, like, if you, I don't know what it is. I don't understand. It's got to be clickbaity stuff. Because if you look, like, and we're not the same. I'm not comparing us to these big podcasts. But, like, you see Joe Budden's shit? It's like 1.06.
Moving up there now.
Moving up quick. It seems like once you've reached certain thresholds, it goes fast. We've reached none of those thresholds.
Hey, after we reached 200, it went pretty fast. And then it got...
That's because all the foot lovers and those... Weird fucks.
Listen, man, I'm starting to have a bigger respect for those foot lovers because they at least hit subscribe.
Yeah, they did. They seem to stay, and at least every so often they comment on our feet. Nasty fucks.
All right, you want to talk about Akon and his new hair?
Akon and Young Jeezy.
It's funny because it said it was like a $7,000 procedure,
It's
and I'm
not
like,
cheap.
yeah, but I would think like Akon. All right, he's the same guy who said. Throw about 20 stacks in the back, make it rain like that, because I'm far from a scrub. I would just assume that if he's willing to spend a couple dubs to get her out the club.
All of the Akon lines, he picked that.
Let's talk about his money. He doesn't talk about his money that
Got
often.
locked up.
Listen, Akon is a stand-up dude. He's got a whole Africa thing happening where he's creating all types of like new opportunities and new like resources and everything. He's doing great things.
That hairline about as long as the coastal line of Africa.
But this shit is kind of funny.
That shit is like, his hairline is, it's like, it's good, it's full, but like it doesn't stop. It like ends like back here. Why didn't they just fill in this part to give you like a box?
I don't remember him ever having like a.
I think he was
Close
bald.
up
I think he was bald a lot of that time, right?
Nah, I mean, he came
They're
in
in
with
like
some,
the locked up era. That locked up.
He came in with some hair up.
He
He came in and he had a hairstyle.
Won't let me out.
And I just thought it was funny because it says that he told Tory Lanez that he should see the guy who did his hair.
So I'm on.
To me, it's just hilarious because like I have to think about
Tory
it.
Lane's shit wasn't successful.
I just think about it like, was it unsolicited? Because if it's unsolicited, then it's hilarious.
Maybe not. Maybe he's talked to him and
Where he's like,
now he's just
yo,
poking
my
fun.
hair looks good. Hey, Tory, man, your hair could use that, bro.
If we go to Jordan,
I can get your number right now.
If we go to Jordan, I'm making a stop in Turkey, and I'm gonna probably do that.
I don't think they're as close as you think.
But it's closer than fucking here.
Turkey is like closer to Europe than it is to.
But it's closer to there than here. and it's cheaper to fly from there than here.
Is it though? 'Cause
Yeah.
Asia's a pretty big continent.
Yeah, but once you fly from there, it's Middle East. I don't like that. The Middle East it's not really Asia. It's
but the continent
the Middle
is
East
Asia.
is in the middle of it.
But the continent is Asia.
Yeah, barely. It's like this little big ass. It's a weird shaped thing that's not really connected, but it is.
But technically,
sir. But yeah, so I'm documented saying I would consider that, right? I would. There's a place here in Chicago I found that does them too, and I'm like, all right. I don't know if it's the same procedure. I don't know what they do in Turkey. Do they just like? I don't know what the fuck they're putting in.
What's
your
that
head.
shit that Brian Urlacher does?
Restore hair.
It's on the billboard in every part of
hair.
the
Yeah, there's
90.
so many billboards. I don't know. There's a different company that actually my barber shop. They approached my barbershop about like working together with. So they maybe I might get some better insight into that company soon, but we'll see.
Okay.
But
Dude,
yeah, Akon.
you don't have to look like your dad because this isn't your dad's hair loss solution.
Akon's hairline is mad long though. It's like, dude, it was too good.
This shit was from California to the New York Islands on his head.
New York Island.
But I mean, my hilarity came like, listen, if women can go and get Botox and get their ass lifts, then why can't men get their hairline fixed? I'm not even talking about that.
Dude,
I just think that it's hilarious.
There's another storyline on Grey's Anatomy that's exactly what you're talking about.
I just think that it's absolutely hilarious that he was like, yo, Tori, holla at your boy. I got you. You know?
Did you see in Grey's where the old man wanted to get the dick surgery? They basically put a pump in your ball sack and you scratch and you squeeze it and like it pumps up your dick.
The fuck?
He wanted to do that. But you know what, man? He was like 80 years old, 75 years old.
Now let it go, bruh.
No, fuck that. If he wants to fuck, let him fuck.
If you're 80, the problem is
okay. So the
problem is not
storyline
even your
in the move in
the
the
problem
show
is not
makes
even your dick anymore at 80. You're gonna have a heart attack.
Well, I mean, I guess at 80, would you rather have a heart attack just sitting down or fucking?
It depends how much you like the person you fucking, because do you really want to leave them with that kind of fucked up ass?
Listen,
like, oh
I hate
man,
to be- I hate
the
to be that
trauma
guy,
is hard
but-
on you.
I hate to be that guy, but it's not really your issue. You're the one that had the heart attack.
Listen, man. I mean, like,
so would you rather have a heart attack just chilling or fucking? Because at 80, I'm assuming. Okay, the storyline.
that depends. Like,
the
did I get to
storyline-
the end?
The storyline was his. The storyline in the show is that his wife had passed, and for 20 years he didn't really want to have sex with a woman. Like, I guess he was old as it is. He met a woman that he really likes, and he wants to have sex with her. And they're both in their, I don't know, they're mad old, but he needs.
Does she have something she can squeeze to help him provide some lubricant?
He said it's something Bumbleclot Johnson, and his dick won't say Tixie.
but does she have some kind of button she could push to help with the lubricant? Because if she's 80, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a difficult time.
I mean, maybe, but that's
listen, you're not supposed to keep fucking at 80. There's just so many things against it.
I'm fucking at 80.
There's so many ways that,
are you
like,
serious? You ain't fucking at 80?
At 80, I probably
All
just
right,
want
so
to
I
sit
gotta be
around with
honest
something to
you.
eat
So
and
Vivi
quiet.
told something to me the other day, right? She said, I may have told you, 32 in the city is 22, and 32 in the suburbs is 45. Let me tell you something about yourself, motherfucker.
No, listen.
You ain't fucking if you can at 80 years old?
My man, I am not.
No, don't call me your man.
First of all, I'm all about the fucking. All right?
I guess
Let me
not
put
at
that out
80.
there. But at 80, my assumption is most people at 80 are not having like the most able-bodied time. If you're like in great shape and you're
My
doing your
assumption
thing,
is that if you
then
are
cool.
at 80, then good for you. You should be fucking. Fuck all the fucking time if you can. Fuck them.
If you can, great. I'm also saying at 80, there's another challenge that arises. If you're dealing with 80, let's say 70, because you want to go young. If you want to find a 70-year-old woman, that's going to come with its own issues, you know?
Lube, man. Lube.
All right, well, listen, if you can and all the things line up correct, then by all means, get that nut, playboy. You know?
So, okay.
It's going to come out like dust, but
That's fine, but I'm fucking at 80. That statement I said, 32 is 45 in the suburbs, that's a real thing. You got to be mindful of that shit. You don't be a 45-year-old man at 32. 45-year-old men that live in the suburbs do exactly what you do. They play with their dog and then they chill at home and kick it, and not worry about that.
I don't know how many times we have to go over this.
You don't leave, and that's a fact.
These are just the assumptions that you make. constantly, you always make assumptions. And you know what happens? If you grew up with a father the same way I did, who told you, you know what happens when you assume, and you make an ass out of yourself.
He had no cool. It was no like smoothness. You know what happens when you assume, right? Shut the fuck up. No, that didn't do that. But essentially, it was your done.
Back in the day, it was acceptable to do that to your children.
We didn't get backhanded by pops. We got our little ass whoopings when it was time.
I mean, but we knew how to stay in check, or at least hide it when we weren't staying in check.
No, there is some truth to what she said though. 32 in the city is 22. I mean, 32 in the city is 22. 32 is 22 in the city, right? Which makes sense because you're
but none of those rules.
You're exposed to everything still. You're still in the mix. You still go from place to place. You're still like, listen, I think what happens in the suburbs.
I guarantee you right now that I know 32-year-olds because I'm 32, right? So like all the people who I have had any kind of interaction in my life, probably like 80% of them are also 32. I know what they're up to. Isn't that much more than what I'm doing over here?
But it's different. Here, I think in the suburbs, like think about it. When the lights are off, when it's dark here in the suburbs, it's just
when the sun sets.
It's like on sunset
and the night falls. And the hoes call.
You got to admit, here it's a different kind of quiet. Remember the first time we were in Bartlett?
But also, that's the same thing that happens when you become a homeowner and you get fucking stuck just doing homeowner shit.
Yeah, but I mean, that's true. But
it's also
remember the first time the first few nights in Bartlett, like how quiet we came outside. It was like this.
I was 15 years old.
It's literally if you want to go like this. Don't talk for a second. And I was like, I can't do this.
I agree. Trust me, I was 100% opposed to it.
They were some of the first people in that subdivision. So it was extra quiet because there wasn't even people next door.
But I was also 15 years old at the time. All right. And extraordinarily upset because all of my friends and everything were still back where I was before I left to come here. And trust me, if I had the option, I still would prefer to live in the city if I'm going to be in Illinois. But there's also the cost. It's like, shit is not cheap out here.
I mean, listen, in all fairness, I don't even really utilize downtown. Like, it's downtown.
I said that before. Like, it's kind of like, you feel like you're not doing yourself justice when you live in a metropolis that you don't really go and access often.
We do our things, but downtown specifically.
Well, now people are fucking dangerous as hell.
Yeah, it's not the most, it's like, it's not as welcoming as it once was, but there's no parking anywhere.
So you're like, Sarah's friends got held up at gunpoint, right?
When?
Like, I don't know, a week or two ago, she went to Anthony's wedding. Shout out to Anthony over there. But like midnight on North Shore or some shit like that. Held him up at gunpoint, robbed the shit out of him. I don't think it was on the news. No, this shit happens fucking 30 times a day now, man. Yeah. Like,
no, that's crazy.
So it's like hard to go and even enjoy yourself out there. But you got to look over your shoulder constantly.
Even during the day, right? Like if you were to just go kick it during the day, which can happen during the day too. I'm not saying it can't, but like if you just went to go enjoy your day, assuming everything went fine, you can't find parking. Everything's expensive. It's just mad people down there for no fucking reason. It's all tourism. It's not geared for the citizen.
This may sound like some shit that you can look at me funny for, but like botanical gardens have like their little fucking
I'll do botanical
color changing season shit. Like I like to go do that shit.
I'll do that. When is that?
That's happening now, I think.
Oh, good. Thanks for telling me.
Well, motherfucker,
it happened yesterday. What? Hey, did you know that if you go to this store and you buy a ticket, you get $1,000 extra for no reason?
It's not a
when
one day.
When does that happen? It happened yesterday.
Thanks,
Dick. Thanks for telling me so fucking late.
It's not a one day thing. The season changes drastically, and as you can see right now, it went from like 40 degrees to 80. So
yeah, no.
It
was warm in the bedroom yesterday. I was like, God damn it, this is fucked up. I was having a good night.
I had both my fans on again. I was like, man,
yeah. I like to sleep with
the ceiling fan and like the regular fan. I don't want to like get into too much of Kanye. Plus, we're like already pretty balls deep into what we're doing here today. But
how do you feel about I'll ask you. Let's not talk about Kanye because he's not.
Well, I don't want to like talk about his comments. His comments are all kinds of fucked up.
Him being on the NORE on the Drink Champs podcast, NORE's apology, the fact that they decided to post it, the idea that they don't edit.
I think if I'm Kanye, and I'm pretty much at this point where like I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna say whatever I want to say. If I'm him, I'm not like gonna be very picky about where I'm at. Right? He should go to NORE and Drink Champs before he goes to Tucker Carlson.
Yeah.
Personally, I feel that way.
But
I also feel like the culture should be a little bit more careful about how accepting you are of Kanye when he's walking around with White Lives Matter, aligning himself with Candace, whatever her fucking name is.
Candace blowing.
Yeah, some shit
balls.
like that. Like there's certain things you just, you know what I mean, you don't want to associate yourself with. And I forgot, like they were talking to NORE and they were talking about some of the songs that he put out. And they're like, NORE, like you put these songs out, you can't be aligning with that bullshit. You know what I mean? Like,
No, there's something going on there, and listen. We have 290. Is it 8?
yes,
subscribers.
at least last I checked, it could be different now. Could be 297 again.
But I don't even think we accept that because I just wouldn't want to be around him, man. He seems like a fucking
Still 298. All right,
fucking an energy sucker. Pause.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a show called What We Do in the Shadows, and it's about like vampires, but it's like supposed to be funny. I watched the first couple seasons of it, and one of them is what they call an energy sucking vampire, and basically like he just like talks to you and sucks all your energy just being around you, pretty much. But yeah, it's Kanye, man. I think there's a right way and a wrong way to go about doing things. And I guess when you're up a couple B's is a little bit different. You don't have to be so careful about the things you do, but you also have to be aware of the impact that it has on your community. It's not the first time that he said some crazy shit.
No, it's not gonna be the last.
He wore a MAGA hat. We knew what the underlying tones of that was. He was the same guy who at one point in time said George Bush doesn't care about black people, and then continued on to say that slavery was a choice. He's very contradictory in a lot of what he does. I don't want to comment on his comments per se. I will just say that for NORE, for instance, right? NORE is he's running a very successful, and not just him, because I don't want to discount DJ EFN and all this shit.
Yeah.
Like, he's also a big
Is
part
it
of it.
FN or EFN?
EFN. Okay. So they run a successful show, right? They're one of the top hip hop culture talk shows, and like their format is generally pretty dope, and they usually have guests on that are like there's good conversation, you learn some things. I know you have your own thoughts about NORE when he gets a little too twisted.
Yeah, but he addressed it because I was watching before I even watched any or
I watched the whole thing because I was curious about it. Like
the first thing
I saw was that there was fallout and NORE was apologizing. So I watched when he was like apologizing through Breakfast Club.
Yeah, the first one I watched was the.
And then I was like, let me go and watch this before they take it down.
Oh, not the first one I watched was Hot 97.
Yeah.
Then I listened to a little bit of the Breakfast Club.
I was like, let me go and watch.
The same thing, so.
I decided to go and watch it because I was like, before they take it down, let me see like what all the controversy is about. It's a long interview. It's like 3.5 hours.
I couldn't listen to podcast. I want to punch him in his face for 3.5 hours.
It was a lot.
Like, why does his face look like that?
Much like my thoughts on the whole meth Tony Yayo thing. NORE didn't have the same kind of control over this one. Like, you know, they do Quick Time with Slime where they just talk about like whatever. They couldn't get through that. It was not quick time at all. It was like a drawn out time with Slime. Like it took forever for him to get through that shit.
See, I would just assume that Kanye would try to hijack any and everything he gets on or does, because even if it's not his platform, because that's what he does. Even
if there's certain things like. I'm not getting into any specifics, but even if there's certain things that Kanye said that like he may have a point if you dig deep, he was just a little harsh about the way he went about everything. Everything that he said came back to like, oh, the Jews, the Jews, the Jews. As a Palestinian man, I have my own thoughts on the Jew process, but it's not all of them, so I'm gonna just keep that.
And it's not based on Kanye's experience.
No, not at all based on Kanye's experience. NORE this is like the first time I think that he really has to deal with any kind of like fallout from the show. An interview, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he knows necessarily how to go on like a campaign for apologizing this, and it's a lot of.
I was drunk. I shouldn't have been drunk, but you shouldn't have been. Like I guess I get
like
the
it's drink champs, not sober champs.
It's drink champs.
We don't edit anything.
I think you gotta edit. You just have to, unless you're us.
Well, you got to use your discretion, man. I mean,
we don't even have 300 people that watch this podcast, so editing, and we still edit.
Yes, you got to use your discretion. Like you know how your interview went. You know how things are. You have producers in the room. There was some other like guys in the room that were among the people that Kanye was referring to in a way, you know, and you just have to kind of like, all right, I got to know where to filter some of this.
Yeah.
And just because you did the interview doesn't necessarily mean that the whole interview has to go out. Doing the interview, they had to. I think once they decided that they were going to do it, they had to do it because they agreed to the terms that his team said, like, oh, we have to be able to record this too.
Well,
so
he
even
said-
if they
yeah.
didn't put it out, then some of it was going to come out.
Yeah, but that's true. I would have just gave him an ultimatum, and I would have been like, "Dude, fuck you, Kanye."
Yeah, word. I mean, NORE doesn't need a Kanye interview, and I get it. Like, that's
He's on a roll.
There's love there,
I think
like-
he's getting, because he's on a roll. Like with his podcast, there's a lot of great interviews lately. And
he had Shaq. That was a great one.
I didn't listen to the whole Shaq, but Shaq didn't drink or anything, right?
No, he just had water. He's like, I'm a role model, man. I got an image to uphold. He's like, I drink, just I won't do it on camera. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, yo, like you can't listen to Shaq talk and not respect him. Like,
Shaq is a great fucking celebrity and honestly role model and,
and
human
a
being.
fucking business. He's like a businessman,
Yeah, I give it to him.
So I don't want to like put too much attention on the
Kevin
whole
Hart
Kanye
drank.
thing.
He didn't smoke.
Yeah.
On camera either.
Well, same thing when he did hot boxing with Mike Tyson. He didn't smoke either.
It's kind of crazy to do shows where you know that you're gonna.
Yeah, it's pretty
What
funny.
did you
But
expect? What did you want? What did you think we wanted you here for?
yeah, I mean that's why like I don't want to spotlight Kanye too much, but he's on a further questionable journey at this point in time.
Yeah.
Balenciaga has cut ties with him. That was one of the more recent stories that came
Their
about
mouth
him.
guard in his mouth.
Yeah, I don't know, but NORE he's going through a learning experience now, and he's
I hope that it doesn't end bad in regard to his his perception by the masses, but a lot of the time just you make your bed, lie in it, and that's the way it works.
There's mad interview shows where we've been like, yo, you crossed the line with that comment, like we're cutting an interview here,
Yeah.
like, and that's kind of I think where he probably if he would have done that, this fallout would have been a lot different.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
Anyway, transitioning from that, Jeezy finally put out a new album.
Jeezy like to drink. Jeezy like to smoke. Jeezy like
young
to mix
Jeezy,
Arm and Hammer with his coat.
He is for all intents and purposes, he's a legend, right? He put out some legendary music. Obviously, when you have Jay-Z kind of helping guide your solo career a little bit, because solo careers like he did Boys in the Hood before that. Jay wasn't really part of that
Them
much.
boys in the hood. Isn't that they were on Bad Boy? I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Sell anything for profit.
And they had their hits
in the
too.
morning on the corner clock.
But like it's called Snowfall. It'll be the name of the album. I think it's out now, right? Yeah, I think it's technically already out with DJ Drama.
Okay.
Shout out to them, and I've been a big Jeezy fan. There's been albums that he put out where I'm like,
Didn't like him too
not
much,
a big
but
fan of it.
he's got some albums where you're like, damn.
Yeah, of
That
course.
first album, second album, man, that first
Yeah.
album I bumped for so fucking long. I can't even begin to tell you how long I listened to that shit. It didn't leave the CD player in the car.
Yeah,
CD player.
He did a Ebro interview, and they were talking about like just how things have changed, how he's grown as a person, more or less, right? And they were like, I don't know how the conversation came about, but they were talking about the difference between an OG and like a big homie. And he's like, I hate the term OG. He's like, there's nothing original about being a gangster. He's like, the big homie's gonna give you the game that you don't already have to help you get out of whatever like questionable situations and circumstances you're in. It's like the OG just like, oh, I know better because I've been there. Like he's like, however he described it, it's a very fine line to me, whatever. But like, I guess
Like Jeezy, that is the same thing.
I guess big homie is kind of like has more of a positive connotation to
Maybe
it,
so.
whatever,
Maybe so. I would say that's probably a good way to describe that.
He's like, when I do things, he's like, it's all business for me. He's like, he had like two of the products that he is affiliated with that he's trying to like put on the map kind of with him there. He's like, it's always business. I'm always on my business shit. He's like, but I try to make sure that I am setting an example for like the other newer young rappers in the game and shit. He's like, I want to be big homie to them. I want to let them know like, yo, because obviously we're at a point now where rap is kind of like the launch pad.
Yeah.
And
then you
usually
see
that
them
was
leave,
the end game for a long time.
Now it's the start of something, and then you leave and you change from that to something else, and you maybe become like a business partner and things, really whatever it is. But
And he was talking
it's like
about
a springboard.
I'm pretty sure it was him who was talking about like all the shit that's happening in terms of like RICO cases and shit with the rappers getting the lyrics used against them, and he's like, there's a difference between like noting the experience and also like
it.
documenting.
Yeah, you can't sit.
He's
there
like,
and
when you could
discuss the whole
directly
thing.
tie it to something, like, come on, you kind of tie in their hands a little bit. He's like, so I'm not with the whole like using the lyrics in court type of thing. He's like, but when I was out there like on the streets, we weren't trying to sit here and like talk about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, well, when Jay was talking about back when I was talking Instagram, last thing you wanted was your picture snap. You know, like
it's a difference. It's a difference, but it's all in generation.
So I look forward to hearing the album. You know, I mean, I'm always down for some good music. So even though I haven't really been up to game on too many of the new projects that have been out.
Yeah, I listen from time to time, but you know, it all depends on if they catch my ear or not.
I got to go back to the Freddie. You know,
Freddie's good. Freddie Gibbs is a good album. I recommend listening to that.
Yeah,
I've been bumping that for about a week or so now.
Yeah, there's a few things that I have to go back and look. I mean, usually I use Apple Music to just kind of like scroll through, figure out what's happening. You want to talk about the Grammys?
I don't really.
I can give like a quick rundown since I brought it up. So Nicki Minaj has yet to win a Grammy.
Oh, yeah.
Her song, her newest hit, I forget what the name of it is, but had a sample on it. It's really whatever. So they moved it to the pop category.
I was listening to to a podcast on the way here, and they were discussing Super Freaky Girl.
There you go. That's
Super
it.
Freaky Girl.
So I guess based on the sample, they like decided to move her into the pop category instead of the hip hop category, where everybody's like, "Oh, Lotto's damn near a deadlock for the thing." And so there's a lot of
What
back
they
and forth
say?
with that.
What did they say in 8 Mile? Lotto. Fuck Lotto. I get your 7 digits from your mother for $1 tomorrow.
It's 2 Eminem references in the same episode.
It's about the same.
Who
it's
is
the
this
same,
man?
It's the same Eminem though in terms of in era, and also not fuck Lotto. I don't care about any of that. It's just fit the.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know,
It's entertainment.
yeah. And, to be Nicki Minaj and not have won a Grammy, it's like when Jay still hadn't won his Grammy.
Yeah,
you know what
I mean, fucking look at Leonardo DiCaprio didn't win his Emmy or whatever Oscar until just recently.
There's certain acts that the industry just kind of disregards.
Yeah.
Even though they are clearly
Like,
in your face.
why do we even discuss you? We know where you're at with it.
So in the light of all this, one Bruno Mars, who is a half of the new duo Silk Sonic, who has, whatever.
Smoking out the window.
Listen, man, Bruno makes good
Must
music.
have cost 35, 45,000 up at Tiffany.
Bruno makes good music. Anderson Paak, however you pronounce it, he's also a pretty phenomenal artist. So they're gonna
Got
they
a
can put music
badass
together.
kid running around a whole crib like
But,
it's Chuck E. Cheese.
They made the determination to not submit any Silk Sonic music
Baby, why you
for
doing it?
any Grammy consideration. And he was like, yo, I got mad Grammys. He's like, every time I'm Bruno Mars.
I don't want any more.
And he's like, I have no more room in my house for these trophies. It's enough.
I got to buy another house for my trophies.
Y'all don't know my expenses. I got to buy a bigger place. So he was like, I'm going to just go ahead and respectfully say, fuck y'all. I'm not doing that this time. And I think
I'll catch a grenade for you.
the idea was more or less like, let me make room for these people who have outstanding music to be recognized the way they're supposed to be. It's weird when you think like Nicki Minaj doesn't have a Grammy because you have probably one of the biggest female artists of our generation.
Of all time, almost, in terms of hip hop and the way
Yeah,
rap
you have
goes.
your Foxies and your Remy's and whatnot, but those
Yeah,
are
in terms of women rap artists, yes,
yeah.
she's probably one of the biggest of all time.
the most commercially successful. Anyway,
Yeah.
because I mean there are other bigger ones that I'm not trying to like disrespect at all.
Yeah, but in terms of commercial success, you're correct.
yeah. So I just thought that was an interesting story, and I guess we'll see how things.
Yeah, we'll see how that plays out. I don't know too much in detail, so I'd have to look a little further into that. But if her song is a rap song and they moved it to suit their agenda, that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I'm not one to really put too much weight into these award shows. And I know as time
True.
goes on, a lot of people don't either.
But the accolades are the accolades, and you get what you deserve, and you're supposed to get what you deserve, and put the work in. And
that's an idealistic world.
it's
You
just
you get what you deserve. Come on, if that's the case, then a lot of people will be much more well off, and
a lot of people who are well off would be a lot less well off.
Exactly. 'Cause you get what you deserve, right? But I don't think that's a true thing.
I didn't read too much into the details of this story, but 21 Savage had a show at Morehouse Spelman for a homecoming, and Drake decided to drop on in, and it's so funny because like wasn't there a show where Drake did that and the fans were like upset that Drake was there?
Yeah, it was supposed to be. It was at like some festival, and they were expecting somebody, and he came out and they booed him. How you gonna boo Drake?
I don't know, man. I'd like arguably the biggest artist like of all time, pretty much.
Fucking hate this generation.
This generation is full of shit. But I thought that was interesting. From what I understand, he didn't get booed there, so that's what's up.
Good for him.
21 Savage, and he's gone through his thing. So, couple of quick RIPs to get out of the way for any of the Harry Potter fans out there. Hagrid, also known as Robbie Coltrane in real life, he passed away.
Cool ass name.
Yeah. So he was a big part of the show. Like he was a beloved character just because
I don't know much about it. I've been thinking more about dipping into that Harry Potter world, but we'll see.
It's easy to think like, oh, that's cheesy ass shit, but like. They're pretty good movies, man.
I might jump into them, but it's not normally my thing. Like that fairy fairyland.
Nah, I think you would enjoy it though.
Ooh, I just enjoy. I hear when they do fairy dust and like those, and
it starts that way.
I don't know. We'll see. I might check it out. But rest in peace to him. Yes.
I feel like they should make a more gangster version of Harry Potter because when you're if you have magic,
do you expect like in the opening credits to hear gangster Grizzles? Like
nah, because it's not in their mouth.
I know, but like it's the gangster.
They got wands and whatnot.
It's the gangster version of Harry Potter. What would that look like?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
We should write that.
You have the ability
and make it a fucking
like my man. Broadway. I have magic. You think I'm just gonna sit here and like just be obedient? Fuck out of here! I'm doing whatever the fuck I want.
Call it like Gangsta Potter,
which is why I'm excited to watch Black Adam. Not just because it has my name in it, but because it's a superhero movie in which Superman essentially
is Black Adam. Is it a black man?
Well, it's played by The Rock.
I know, but is it like generally? Is it a black man?
I don't think the idea
because to me that's problematic the way they
I don't think that's the idea. I think it's just like the I don't know.
To me, that sounds mad racist. Hey, there's Black Adam over there. Like that's not supposed to be a thing.
Could certainly be. It could be construed that way. I don't know. But
it's like what if they go? Hey,
but it's dope. It's dope that it's finally done and gonna be out because
it's been mad long.
It's been like 15 years since they announced that The Rock was gonna portray him.
Why the fuck has Method Man been trying to get that spot then for so long?
I don't know.
Like Meth, they had this decided way long ago. Before he started lifting weights.
They were talking to him about like the costume, right? I think the costume looks kind of terrible. Like it just doesn't look great.
Kind of gay.
It just doesn't look great,
Okay.
But they were like, he had like all the pads and everything like that for the muscles, like you would expect that you need. But you're also talking about The Rock, who's probably like the swollest person on the planet.
I don't know, man. There's some swoller people.
Well, but just you know what I'm talking about. So he was like, yeah, just take all the pads out of that, and it still is like fucking like the Superman costume.
Speaking of that, I saw a picture of Henry Cavill, the guy who plays Superman, and he's gonna play it again. And that motherfucker is swole. Like. He is big as hell. I was like, did he just do this for this role to be? I guess if I was Superman, I would be like, yo, I got to get Superman shape.
I think this is going to make everybody dislike the Superman franchise, to be honest.
Why?
Because you have somebody who literally has all of the abilities of Superman, but is not held back by a moral compass.
Wait,
he'll kill
who? Superman?
No, Black Adam.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. I was like, this is gonna be nice. This is gonna be like it's like when they made Hancock. When Will Smith still had like a cool bone in his body.
Yeah.
And he was just like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna do whatever I feel like doing, pretty much.
He was the reckless ass superhero.
And I expect this is what the movie will largely be to some degree. So it's funny because man, The Rock and Kevin Hart, they're always like on the late night show just talking shit,
I love that about them too.
So let me move to the other one. The Murder, She Wrote actress Angela Lansbury. Now I'm not huge on the whole Murder, She Wrote thing, but
Murder, She Wrote.
Iconic, legendary.
Murder, She Wrote.
Lived a nice long life.
Murder, She Wrote.
She made it to 96. So
long life.
Rest in peace to her.
Rest in peace.
That's we're losing. See, when I talk about losing legends and talking about like 96 makes sense. When you talk about 50s, they're older. No, it's not.
Young. That's young.
So yeah, rest in peace to both of them. Big losses for the world, their fan bases, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And then there's one last thing here. Genuine passes out after Chris Angel's magic stunt goes wrong.
Like you watch New Girl. Remember how Schmidt passes out every time he just folds underneath himself. Can you imagine genuine genuine doing his little.
It's like when people call Fabulous.
Fabulous didn't have that problem.
He did that on his first album. Fabulous.
It's fabulous, fool.
Like you're on his album, his
fabulous.
debut album, and you're referring to his name wrong. He spelled it out
I
400 times on that album.
I feel bad for Genuine because of the fact that it's like he's turning into like a meme of him. He's like a shell of his one self.
I mean, listen, man, we're
9 o'clock.
We're in meme world.
Home alone.
MJ did his Hall of Fame speech, and they made him a meme because he was crying.
Come on, man. Come on.
Nobody's safe.
My place.
When they make Michael Jordan a meme, nobody's safe.
Yeah, but Michael Jordan. Yeah, that's true. But Michael Jordan's memes are hilarious.
They are, but
he was crying at his Hall of Fame.
Yes, but they made him.
The next one is when he's doing that. when he's like,
and they did all the fuck them kids ones.
Yeah. Fuck them kids.
But I'm just saying, if you take Michael Jordan and you're willing to make a meme out of him, and it's a successful meme and it's everywhere, you're not safe if you're anybody else.
I guess you're right. Well, hopefully he's okay. He didn't pass out too crazy, and just stay away from magic.
Also, if you didn't, if you're into any of that magic shit. Usually, David Blaine is a name that everybody knows, right? He did Hot
magic
Ones.
Shit this morning.
He did Hot Ones, like for the season opener.
Ooh,
David Blaine.
I'm wondering about.
And this man is like, things that affect a normal person does not affect him. He was like, these are delicious wings. Like instead of him having a reaction and needing to drink milk or anything like that,
him saying more calm. These are delicious wings.
I forgot what the name of the pepper is, but it's like one of those crazy ass peppers.
Carolina Reaper.
That's the one, Carolina Reaper. At the end of the show,
I don't eat that.
At the end of the show, he did like a magic trick, and part of that was also to bring a Carolina Reaper into the mix. And so they cut it in half, and both of them ate half of the Carolina Reaper, and there's just like zero effect on him.
And Evans is probably like,
oh yeah, he's sitting here like, I need like, give me all of the waters and things to drink. Like he was fucking profusely sweating. Like this is the worst that I've seen his reactions from the wings and shit. And he's been doing it 9 seasons now. So yeah, David Blaine is like not human. I don't know.
Superhuman.
But go check that out. Let's get sneakers and get the fuck up out of here, man.
All right. Well, as you can see, I have the Fire Red 4s on.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do.
You don't say.
I was going to wear one of the newer ones I got, but I was like, I think I might just wait till springtime to bust them out, man.
I mean, we are not even in wintertime yet, so it's going to be a while.
Yeah, I know. Unless I'm feeling good one day and like feel like lacing them up. That's another issue. They're not laced, right? So that means I have to lace them, and I'm not going to lace them until it's time to lace them.
But it's my large preference to get a new pair of shoes that's unlaced. Like if I order it and it comes back and it comes laced, I'm like, somebody tried this shit on.
These weren't laced.
Who had this? Who had their foot?
These were laced when I got them. I was angry about that.
Yeah, man. Like, listen, as much as our viewership involves shoe people, I'm not a person that like that. I do not need your foot in my shoe.
We've been discussed that already. No.
They
try to take my shoe and put it on. I said, bitch, fuck you.
And that's about as far as your freestyling should go.
Thank you, now. Thank you very much.
Give it just a one bar.
Thank you very much. I did not watch that stupid Elvis thing, and I won't. What you got on your feet?
I got these low top 6s. I'm pretty sure they have like a name for this colorway, but I don't know what it is anymore. I got a good deal on them back when Foot Action was a thing, and they had like their little Jordan side, which I don't think exists anymore.
I don't think so either.
Sad R.I.P. to that place as well, because it was a nice little area. I thought I would think of all of the places that sell shoes, that would be the most successful.
Foot Action?
Yeah. Well,
based on the name?
It was Foot Action.
If we were to base them on the name, what would you think?
Well, they had the Foot Action, and then they had that little place next door, which was like the Jordan place.
Well, now that's different. Like most of these places have some sort of connected Adidas or back. The
yeah,
Nike.
But I mean, you know what I mean. Whitfield, like that's how it was on the second floor up there, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's not a thing anymore.
They just put a JD Sports in downtown. It's supposed to be pretty good. They supposedly got a lot of shit When they opened up, they had something. They had all the releases essentially from the Cool Grey 11s.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
See, I guess it's kind of a good thing that I don't go downtown more because
Might be. It might be.
I don't have the money to pop tags the way I would like to pop tags.
I don't have any money to pop a tag, but I pop some from time to time. Pimps go through this type of thing from time to time.
I think I ended up paying like $120, $125 for these things, and it wasn't displayed initially. I just told the guy I was looking to see what they had, and he was like, "Hold on 1 second, I think I have something else in the back." And then he was like,
"What I have?
What about these?" And I was like, "Shot fucks with you," and that's how that happened.
And we fucks with each other. And on that note,
yes. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to episode number 155 of the Kasson Avenue podcast, which is kind of misleading since it hasn't been 155 episodes that we've been this name. But it is what it is.
Yeah, you figure it out.
Thank you all for watching. If you did indeed watch, especially if you got to this point in the show, because that means you watched the whole show. We're going to try to be here next week, but God knows, sometimes things just don't work out that way. That's why I always approach it that way. Assumptively, we will be here next week.
Everything goes all right, we'll be here. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Take my headphones off. I'm telling you, it's like...
Take these ghost phones.
It's what I do, man. We podcast.
I love you.
My head all the goddamn...
You didn't even tell them you loved them.
I love them, I guess.